Damn, Gary, some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Hi, everybody out there. You know, it's been a while since I directly, made contact with my friends and followers, and, I've, taken the time to, care about the way I look.
Sabes, amor, yo nunca te he olvidado. Te recuerdo en cada estrella siempre que aparece. Sabes, amor.
Pollo.
Oh, dude, that's dirty.
We're going to do it long, and I'm going to take my time with you. So, there we go. Be gentle. We're going to be gentle. It's squishy. It's squishy. Yeah.
Hang on just a second. There we go. She's hanging in there. We're going to say don't panic. Don't panic.
Oh, shit.
Just missed a full review of Suits.
Yes.
Right up to the line.
Literally.
Right up to the line.
3, 2, 1. Everyone shut up.
You know what sucks about it is the last episode is on Amazon Prime and they censor fuck in it. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know why, but they censor the word fuck. So.
A little random.
They don't censor Meghan Markle getting railed in the supply room.
That's right. One of the best parts of the show.
What, is this Buckingham Palace?
That's integral to the show.
So they got
Yes,
the views.
it is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, she wouldn't. It wouldn't be with her husband as.
No. but he would be holding her hand.
Jeremy Clarkson did nothing wrong, and Amazon agrees with us.
Yeah.
Welcome to Friday Night Tights. Woo! I'm caffeinated.
Hello.
I'm ready to go. We watched the ending of one terrible show and the starting of a very mediocre show that are both within franchises that are dying a very, well, one's dead and the other one's dying a very quick death. And neither of them can be saved. Spoilers. Also, I just want to, do we have that video ready? I probably should have told you to get it ready.
Maybe. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Let's see.
So it's so ready.
A video.
So there's like a video out there that got shared by a director on Instagram. Been kind of
Okay.
a thing lately.
Okay. Well, I don't know. You just say random video. I don't know what that means. I will find it. I will find it.
A video.
I will find him.
Yes.
And mock him relentlessly.
Robin Hood has 2 episodes out. I'm not going to watch the second one. But I have a question. Is there a cookie jar full of condoms in the second episode?
I hope so.
Mama handing them out?
I
That's not a
really
cookie
tried
jar.
to keep
That's a
the
nookie jar.
I tried to keep the children away from that cookie jar this episode. I really did. There's like young love that starts to blossom. I'm like, fucking don't let him go in the cookie jar.
Gotcha.
Put the cookie down.
My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com and my mom's vagina. What's up, Az?
Hello. We are living rent-free in Director Rex's head. And he's got a nice apartment.
Hey, do you think like everybody who works for him, it's like line producer X, key grip X, caterer X, janitor X,
Best boy X.
best boy X,
Probably in the contract. Yeah.
fluffer X?
Grip X.
No relation to Malcolm.
None.
None.
Oh, Malcolm would fucking hate this show. He wouldn't want anything to do
Well,
with
I
it.
mean, Director X. Julian. Director X. Julian. I think Julian's a lovely name. Go with Julian.
Other than having two in it.
Character from Madagascar.
It's like we're barely 5 minutes in. Come on.
I should really set a timer.
Video holding his finger up.
We can't be saying hello to Twitter when we're trying to say hello to the audience. Hi, Twitter. How you doing?
And Reddit. Don't forget Reddit.
Yes.
Oh,
Reddit, too.
hi, Reddit.
They
I never
love
fucking
us
go
on Reddit. We're Reddit's favorite. All right.
Yeah, it was a great show. Was episode 2 of Robin Hood. He magically managed to make all the black people good and white people bad again.
That's just
That's
the
weird
state
because
of
he's
the
in the
world.
first episode.
I mean, no. Look, in all fairness, in all seriousness, I'm just really glad that he's bringing awareness of the plight of Canadians, where 14-year-old Canadian children can't walk down the street without policemen jumping out, sticking guns in their face, and handcuffing them. So, F's in the chat.
I feel seen.
I'm really looking forward to watching this next episode of Robin Hood because it doesn't disappoint on how awful it is. It is really retarded.
Don't forget your VPN, comics.
I don't need the
good
VPN.
There is a good scene in it, legit, not joking. There's a good scene where John Prince goes to see Robin Hood's mum in the hospital, and I did laugh.
You mean
As
the
he
one
just
who's
spilled, he just spilled truth all over her.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Well, he was just like, she's in hospital, like being a mardy cow, and he's just like, I understand what you're going through because I got broken into, had my shit stolen, and was assaulted in my own place. And I'm just like, he's right, you know?
He's right.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's right. Ryan Kinnell, live from prison.
Yeah, it's not too bad. They gave me a streaming setup, so things have improved since your stint in there, Gary.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm
yeah.
doing good.
There's internet.
More anal
much-
sex.
Yeah, too much shit coming out this week. The end of Ahsoka, the beginning of Loki. I gotta say, Loki was not good by any stretch of the imagination, but it was almost refreshing
After
to
watching
not watch
Ahsoka.
Yeah. Couldn't say the same thing about Robin Hood. That wasn't refreshing at all. But
Refreshing retarded.
no, there's plenty of that. But yeah, there's somebody that wants our attention badly. Maybe he wants on this show because it has more of a viewing audience than Robin Hood does. That's bet, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's get going.
But let's be real. The budget for this show might actually be bigger than the budget for Robin Hood.
Isn't it state fund? Isn't Globe state funded channel?
Probably.
I think it's a Canadian. I don't know. I have to use a VPN to get access to it. But I'm not sure exactly how things work in Canada there.
Yeah, Drex told me to.
Based on this show and solely this show, it seems like the television is garbage up there. So, but I guess if you just tuned into one CW show here in America, you'd probably say the same thing.
Yeah, that is true. Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, it's good to be here. I've dried off after my flood last week.
Excuse me?
The walls, well, in some senses.
TMI.
In other senses, I'll never dry off because I just love to be here so much. Yeah, excited to talk about Ahsoka and Loki.
Wee.
That actually explains why Ahsoka is just so kind of like ornery all the time. She's probably going through fucking menopause.
It's like it's cold in here. It's hot in here.
Well, you said you're never gonna dry out, so I was just thinking about what happened to Ahsoka.
Okay. It was a compliment. Okay.
I wasn't saying you're there.
No.
And no need to get so defensive.
I'm triggered.
Must be that time of the month.
Ah.
There you go.
You're still having it.
Speaking of that time of the month, what's up, Quarter Black?
What the fuck? Shit. Damn, bro.
I don't know where he was going with this.
I honestly thought it was going to be me.
Well, shit. Very happy that Ahsoka's done. Actually, kind of sad because I was having trouble sleeping, and it kind of helps me to get to that place. But now it's over. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I'll continue watching the next Disney slop that comes out, which is Loki. And Ryan said it's not good. It's not horrible. I laughed once or twice. But I'm sure it'll just go downhill from here because it's Disney. So.
Yeah, it's
It was interesting to have a charismatic actor on screen.
Yes. Some emotion is nice to have in a show.
We'll get into it, but let's be fair. Sylvie wasn't on screen with him. Okay, so we'll see how that dynamic changes if you remember from Loki season 2. What was the biggest revelation? He's bi.
Well, and then he loses to his female self.
Well, they brag about losing to women.
Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes were straight up MCU. And then it kind of went into like, hey, let's not be MCU all the time.
My favorite scene was the Council of Women.
Yes.
The girl boss council arguing, and then the one guy
is
is sleeping.
And the one guy's asleep.
I'm kind of suspicious of that guy, though. I feel like something has to be going on there. I don't
To
know.
be fair, I pretend to be asleep too. There's a bunch of cackling hens going on in there. I'll be like,
He gets woken up by her screaming like a banshee for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yep.
Everyone else is sorting the problem, and she's like, everyone calm down. It's like, all right, love, just you're not the center of attention for 5 seconds. You don't need to jump in.
There was like a suspicious amount of extremely ugly women in this episode.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? I don't know why. I'm not sure why exactly they decided to have them be just distractingly unattractive, but it was.
Oh, it's current year.
like more than bland or whatever. Just fucking weird looking. I don't know.
yeah, well, they just want to destroy those. What is it? Beauty, gender norms, male gaze, whatever ratings. Yeah. They just don't. They want to destroy these.
They
things
don't want
called ratings.
ratings.
Yes.
They decided that when picking out the variants of those people, they decided to just pick the fucking ugliest motherfuckers in the timeline. It's just we're not missing much if we erase them. So.
What they didn't realize is that you do need the male gaze for views. So
Yes.
Wait,
I don't think you're gonna get it in this show.
Gaze?
the gaze.
Yes.
Like,
You need the gaze.
That's their target demographic.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I retract that statement. Yes, they are getting that. Somewhat.
Male gaze, 18 to 24.
Yeah.
That's a little too old for Disney.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, typically they don't live much longer because of the AIDS.
Oh, wow.
I thought you were going to say something else at the end there, but I'm not sure because the alternative actually would have been just as bad, so it doesn't matter. I was going to say there's demographics out there that just don't live very long. Okay, we're saying that's all I'm saying.
You're saying
41%. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
They them
Chinese
don't live
workers
very
in an apple
long.
factory.
But all the nets have increased that. They're trying. Everything
Those
except
windows.
improving the working
Hey,
conditions.
I worked that joke into my Ahsoka review. I was pat myself on the back for that one. suiciding.
I haven't seen it.
After
Yeah.
Transitioning.
People.
You can say it.
X-ray. Goo.
Hello.
Hey, your brother was in Loki.
I have to think about that.
Well, you have so many.
I've got 2 million people that look just like me. I didn't think about it.
I'm beginning to agree with Director X right now.
I think maybe she was thinking about that female driver in the beginning.
I actually don't remember her background. So, but in any case, I watched it. I could have lived without it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be, but it still wasn't good. Now, I will say I do like watching Tom Hiddleston. That's probably the only good thing. And OB was fine. He was fine. He was kind of quirky.
Oh, well, like he always is in everything he's in.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the thing.
I only know 3 things.
That's
that he's
the
in,
that's the only thing I liked.
Was
Yeah.
Opie Short Round from Indiana Jones?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I was
Yes.
sorry. I misheard you, but yes. Your brother?
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. My
You're
brother.
talking
I
about your
told you
brother?
need to go get Loki.
I thought you were talking about
Don't-
Owen
don't-
Wilson.
don't let
Wilson.
them alone. But yeah, it was fine. But yeah, I realized why I don't watch a lot of these shows. I like watching you guys watch it. It's so much better.
That's the big comment that's always in it.
Yeah, but we
Especially
gotta
on
watch
Robin
it.
Hood.
Thanks for watching this, so we don't have to.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much the one we get the most.
Mm-hmm.
As far as comment sections go. I mean, beside from F you racist.
Don't
I
kill
mean,
you.
right after that.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yep. Disparu, welcome back to Friday Night Tights.
Cheers. Always great to be here, especially on. I need these shows to slow down. We've had Wheel of Time, Ahsoka, Robin Hood, this. I literally can't do the videos fast enough. I need them to stop. And then you've got Loki, which there's literally lines in this repeatedly where they will give you an explanation and then just go, yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Like, yeah. Stop it! It doesn't make it any better. I'm having trouble reconciling that. There's no problem with my logic. There's even a part in it where Hiddleston runs off camera to the right and then dives off a balcony to his left.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's happening. And
Complete,
so
it's a ripoff from the Pandorica opens. So
you say it's like an average
the
show, but
Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones.
what?
to me,
Out the window.
Anakin jumping
I'm
out
talking
the window.
about the timey-wimey stuff.
jumping
I'm
out
like,
the-
where the fuck are you going with
Oh.
that? I'm talking about the time travel, dude.
But there's a big. They fucked it up, or because when they're doing the stuff with OB, and when Loki's back in time doing the things, and OB's remembering because he's doing it in current time, but the guy who witnessed the taxi coming through, smashing the thing, cracking the floor, didn't remember.
yeah,
Yeah,
they said,
what was up with that? Was he in 3 different timelines? He was in the past,
Well,
he
no,
was in the current, and then in the future.
They said there's no time. There is no past in this place.
There is.
But
No,
he
well, no,
travels
there
back
is
to it.
now.
No,
Hold on,
there
hold
is
on. No,
now.
that's a lie, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
entire they pretty much established that everyone who works there has been lied to and had their memories wiped multiple times. That's why they think there's no time there. It does exist. They've just been told that it doesn't. That's why he was able to go back and forth and show and prove people, look, this is what was here before. The whole freaking George Washington Kang or whoever.
Somebody watched the end of Doctor Who season 5 and lifted a lot, like lifted an awful lot.
Oh,
Didn't do it as well.
Yeah.
There's a sign in the cafeteria that says, "Don't have your lunch break longer than 17 minutes." Like, this is the problem when you say there's no time.
Yeah.
It's like, these are the. I can't watch it because every time that happens, oh no, can we stop? It just don't write a time travel show if you're not even going to put in a modicum of effort and then just pretend it's comedy. All the mistakes are meant to be funny. Apparently, it's like, oh no. So as for an average show for me, it'd have to be like entertaining as much as everything else, and I just got annoyed. That was my entire thing with this.
I saw it as a waste of time. I mean, like, it's not as bad as Ahsoka. It's not good. That doesn't make it good. It's definitely
it's just unoffensive.
It's
is what it is.
definitely
That's
the
how I
first 10
described
minutes
it
of
in-
like the first 10 minutes of it are full on MCU though. Full on MCU.
well,
And
yeah,
then they decide
totally.
to stop.
And you know it's going to get worse if the first episode of the season is mid.
Disparu said it best.
It's all going downhill.
You could start watching Loki at episode two
and be
see
fine.
you'll be fine.
Yeah, it changes nothing.
Changes nothing. They ended it where season one ended. They revealed that kind of what we already knew, that the universe is unraveling still, and the threads are spreading, and they show this by showing it on a screen. And Chris mentioned this too. This is the kind of shit you need to show, like destruction on other planets, even for a second. And it's got no impact whatsoever. And yeah, you have to remember a show that you might have watched 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
This is what I will
remember
say. I think that when we saw the end of season 1 and they have this setup when Loki goes back there and everything has changed, right? You see like the Kang statues.
Yeah.
I feel like the assumption is that the timeline, when we saw that at the end of season 1, we assumed the timeline had changed.
Yeah,
and
right.
that Kang was
Yes.
able to come over and take over these things.
Yep.
Well, that is the assumption. You go into this, you find out that's not the case. In fact, he was in a different timeline. And in reality, Kang has always been controlling that thing. He's always been in charge. He set this entire thing up like to do whatever he wants. So that always has been the timeline. He's just slipping between different time periods.
And he's not supposed to do that.
He's not supposed to do. He's not supposed to be even able to do that.
Everything that they did from, I guess, the second minute on, this is arguable, by the way. You could say the entire episode could have been done in 10 minutes.
The entire episode.
Yeah, the entire episode.
Yeah.
Well, I almost, I kind of wish that he had done the time slipping throughout this whole season.
Well, it got really
think that would've-
inconsistent. That would have been.
I thought it was from the trailer.
But
I thought it was going to be he was going to have this issue.
It got conveniently slower and then faster. Like I
There-
guess
there was no-
as it needed to be.
There was no control over it. It might be like boom, boom, or it might be he's gone for 10 minutes. So, but I feel like that would have actually been, it would have been very difficult to write from the perspective of you need to have like the little scene they had with OB where he's talking to him in the past to actively.
cool.
And I thought that was okay. He was like, I don't remember that. Wait,
It was
actually,
very.
I do
should I bother with this?
It was very.
guess.
yeah.
It was very Douglas Adams. I've
Yeah.
already recorded a review that's going to come out tomorrow with somebody, and we likened it to Dirk Gently. In essence, it was very Dirk Gently-esque. People are in different time periods, moving and positioning, and it very much looks like Sylvie's the one that
and you know what,
activates
Dirk-
Loki to get
Dirk
pushed into the
Gently. Sorry, it's just a repurposed Doctor Who script.
So we're back to Doctor
Yeah.
Who.
And so, you could say Dirk Gently, you
That's why
can
I
say
like it.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
Well,
Galaxy.
Hitchhiker
Yeah.
in
got that
tone.
vibe
It
to
definitely tries to be Hitchhiker in tone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
absolutely. Yes, agree with that. And I don't hate that aesthetic. The problem is, like, even Hitchhiker is more effing grounded than this show.
Yeah.
If you're like, there's stakes and there's freaking cricket players flying around it who are robots, but they kill people, they murder people, and you see it, and it's pretty horrific. But this
Well,
show.
I just prefer, especially when it comes to like time travel, where you'll have someone who's like, okay, we need a key to this prison. I'm going to go back in time and put the key behind this brick, and then they pull the brick back and it's there, rather than it being simultaneously, and he has no idea, and then suddenly remembers. Like everything's running in parallel at the same time, but you can travel between any of them, but everything you do affects only that current instant where that camera is at that time. I can't wrap my head around
What should have happened? Loki should have walked in the room and he should have been like, "Oh, hey, Loki," and he's like, "I've never met you before," and then that way he's already known that he was coming.
Like if in the machine he'd gone back and he'd just walked over to a place and gone this, then I would have liked
Let's
him
keep in mind that this comes directly off of Ant-Man, Commie-Mania, and you are setting up the big bad. That's what this show's essentially here to do. It's the set. So imagine setting up Thanos in a sitcom. Like that's what they're doing right now. It's kind of ridiculous. They're doing this wacky comedy. Yeah,
I can't even say they're really doing that. Because a lot of these shows, they're just a fucking waste of time. All they are is filler to get to the movie, right? It's like
Well, yeah,
okay, maybe something will impact it
Ryan
ever so slightly.
Ant-Man was
Ryan-
filler, and it was a movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ryan made a point. I'll let you make your point about season 2 is just repeating what season 1 did, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is
but pretty much like season 1 was this entire. I hate the premise of the show. First of all, I despise it because Tom Hiddleston. I loved him as Loki. I thought Loki had a great arc in the MCU, and he had a great finality in the MCU in Infinity War. You see him go through this character arc. You see him go back and forth. You're not really sure. And finally, I hated Ragnarok in general because I don't like Taika Waititi, what he decided to do to the character. But you do see, finally Loki almost decide to pick a side, and it's with his brother Thor. In Infinity War, you see this moment where you're wondering to yourself, is Loki going to try to save his own skin? Is he going to team back up with Thanos? But no, at the end, he stays loyal to his brother and tries to backstab, whatever, Thanos. Doesn't work. He pays the ultimate price. He fucking dies as his brother looks on at his lifeless fucking body. It is a great finish to a character who had a complete and total arc in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
agreed. And
yeah.
But ultimately, like you're bringing back Loki, and whether he's a variant or not, now we're seeing him as Loki. So it takes away from that character arc. And Loki existed to set up the multiversal saga. Does the multiversal saga feel set up?
No.
So now we're setting it up again with Loki season 2.
And how many that's the thing, how many multiverse movies have we seen? We've seen Spider-Man No Way Home with the multiverse opening up. We've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, discussions about the fucking multiverse and stuff like that. We've seen Loki season 1, and now we're seeing Loki season 2. I might have missed some in between.
Miles Morales.
But in this,
Miles
isn't
Morales.
there an infinite amount of split timelines within one universe, and then within all those other universes are also an infinite amount of timelines within all those?
Yeah.
Does it get that
I
stupid?
believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Because
gonna get
I'm
that
so ready for this timeline multiverse shit to just go the fuck away. My wife was watching a reality show where they make over houses, and they had an element where it was a multiverse.
Oh, fuck
Like
off.
that's how deep this fucking trope
metaverse
has
owns.
gotten in. Like, what is wrong with you? Get rid of this. Stop.
It's
It doesn't
not even
work.
one that stuck. I mean, it worked for No Way Home in one movie, but it hasn't worked in anything else. Flash. How did Flash do?
Great. It
poorly.
only lost about $300 million.
Doctor
That's cool.
Strange.
So
Yeah,
Ryan,
no.
But ultimately, season 1 was just this big setup, right?
Yeah.
That's all season 1 was, this big setup. We get this reveal at the end. And now this first episode that, people have waited, if people like the show, they've waited 2 years to see. And the very first episode is just more setup. Now, I do think there are some things that were intriguing about it and made you, like, to me, the way that they were doing the time slipping and slowly revealing what exactly was going on, whether he was in the future, in the past. Like, to me, that was actually at least interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
Compared to really
Something
anything we've
should have
seen
been
in Ahsoka.
happening, though, legitimately happening, that we could, that he got involved with, but was pulled from, and which would have potentially have caused some sort of, dichotomy about whether or not he should remain in the present or be bouncing to another timeline in the future or the past to try and remedy that, while Morbius was dealing with the stuff in the present, and maybe Sylvie was dealing with the stuff in the future, which was going to bring them together.
And that's what I mean. Like, if they did a whole series that was that, Loki not being able to really control his time skipping, but having to deal with going for between all these things, but still dealing with the threat that is he who remains.
Yes.
I actually think I think it's very difficult to write. But I think if they did it, it would actually be a compelling story.
Yeah.
Instead of now done episode 1, no more time skipping, and it's just more of the same exact thing, I guess.
I when I first heard the premise of the show, being the sweet summer child that I was, I thought it might be episodic and might not be just setting up Kang for 2 seasons. And it's basically Doctor Who, and I'm like, that's cool. If you have Loki running around trying to fix things in time and make it
that could be cool. Yeah.
where you get to see some deep cuts on some Marvel characters that'll probably all be race and gender swapped to black lesbians. But still, I thought the premise sounded good. The execution was terrible. And it was about female Loki. It was about it was a bait and switch, and it's still a bait and switch, even though she wasn't in this episode, it was about her. What are you doing to that mic, Az?
The rest of it will be about her.
Well, Gary, she was in the episode.
Yes, she was in the end.
And
briefly.
Are we
I'll
gonna
have one of
Are we
everything.
going to introduce the rest of the people before we carry on this conversation?
Everybody got introduced, right?
Comics.
Oh, this time.
Chat was razzing Gary, not skipping me. I was just laughing.
Who did I skip?
Me!
I skipped somebody?
Comics.
Do you hear somebody? I don't hear.
You asshole.
Hi, Comics Ian.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
I'm great.
Yeah. One thing back to what you were talking about was setup, Ryan. I get the feeling that they're going to be doing something very similar with Ahsoka season 2, because what Ahsoka season 2 is going to be about is Sabine and Ahsoka getting back to the galaxy, and they finally get there in the last episode for reasons.
How? No, seriously.
Space whales.
Space whales.
They will
They'll
space
get
whale
in the
it.
space whale ass, and then they'll fly back to the regular
Yeah, maybe
galaxy.
they'll fly directly in
Right.
the ass this time because that's where the hyperspace comes from.
So the space whale's going to go to the planet where they go to die.
Okay, well,
I
let's-
don't.
Let's wait till we get to Ahsoka.
I think I had a good explanation.
I have a question about time slipping and Loki. How come he wasn't able to time slip to a place where he could wash his hair?
Well, that's a good question because I'm going to talk about Ahsoka again. Sabine was able to go to an entire another galaxy and have the most impenetrable makeup of all time.
Her makeup never dripped, never smudged.
It's
Beskar makeup,
It's
you
Beskar
fuck.
Makeup, yeah.
It's tattooed Beskar makeup.
Or is it
so
Tatooine Beskar makeup?
Toughest makeup in the galaxy. Beskar.
Beskar. Somebody needs to make that
Like
commercial.
I would have loved
thinking that.
one scene of Sabine just even doing her makeup. Like that would have made it a little more. Even if
I
it was
couldn't
like
imagine anything more boring than
I would
watching
like
her
to-
put her
yeah.
makeup on.
Like
I
they
would
would
like
just be
one
done as
scene of
some like.
Sabine
wasn't
training.
realistic.
We did see some Sabine training.
Well, she could have done her makeup.
It's like a fraction. People are trying to use that
No,
second
no,
fucking of
wait a minute.
training.
What
Let's
fucking
do a
training?
part of that training.
So
I'm
okay,
talking about
no, we gotta
especially
wait till
with
Ahsoka.
Yang.
We gotta wait. We gotta
Okay,
wait.
okay.
You're the one that just
Okay,
that you fucking brought it up again.
Yes, to get back to the time slipping,
Yeah.
which was
And
the
I'm trying to get
conversation.
it back. I was just bringing up makeup. I didn't say break it down. Back to Loki.
Okay, so the time slipping, I think, would have been better if they actually revealed, because what they revealed was essentially he's always been in charge and they've been wiping people's memories, which you learn in basically the first scene, and then it's repeatedly told to you throughout the episode. There were more interesting things like, should we continue to wipe out an infinite number of people for the rest of time? Maybe we're the bad guys. And it's like, no, we're
No.
going to mention it. We're never going to handle that kind of value system or anything.
Well,
And
So
so
we did
all you
talk
get-
about that. There's a whole argument about that.
That was
Yeah,
the
nobody actually comes to a
Council of
conclusion.
Women.
There's one person going, maybe we should stop, and everyone's like, well, nobody actually even thinks maybe we're so evil, maybe we actually need to be punished. It's like, yeah, just forget about it. Well, they keep talking about, why don't we go back to our I don't want you to go back to your timelines. You're evil and have been murdering people. You can't just go back to your life and forget about what you've been doing. Nobody handles like.
Well, that's the question.
They say the line in the show.
They were
You're just
pruned-
doing your job.
They were pruned from timelines that do not exist anymore. And we have, are these new timelines sprouting up? Are they the same timelines that these people were from? Oh.
Yeah, and they even addressed that again at the end when OB was like, well, you need to fucking prune all these timelines. They're like, no, we can't. Those are fucking innocent people. We'd be killing a bunch of innocent people. We can't keep doing that.
Like we've been doing in
Yeah,
the
but
past.
maybe the people that have
Big
been
black-
murdering
big
people
black
for
lady.
infinity
Yeah.
shouldn't just be allowed to decide their own fate.
And again, Chris Gore brought this up, but this is a huge deal. Trillions, I can't even think of the number. Gazillions
Can't fathom.
of people dying, and it's just like little lines on a screen. You got to do something. I mean, like, even if it's like still photography, I don't fucking know.
That costs money, for them to do that.
like
They could do that in the void. Come on.
Yeah.
you are, because to me, to keep this sacred timeline, it's like, hey, if something that's not supposed to happen happens, you go and you prune that thing and you kill them. It gets back on the timeline. But what, now we have all these branching timelines. Are all those just a mirror of our, say, Earth Prime, right? Because obviously there's a bunch of different Earths too.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think we're talking about I don't know. I think we're talking about timelines on one Earth.
Yes,
that are branching.
616.
I don't know
whatever it is.
Yeah, it's
whether
the 19999.
Exactly. Earth 199. All right,
that's what it is. It's the 19999.
Earth 199. So
personally, I think it's
somebody. Are you getting it back to that? But if you just let all these things branch out, is it just a bunch of different other timelines that are existing? And if they're just existing, maybe everything won't blow up. You know what I mean? I don't know why it would if it has.
I think the idea is Kang eventually becomes so powerful that he then starts infiltrating other timelines because they all go to war to be the strongest Kang, and so you end up back where you were at season 1.
I thought there were multiple different Earths, all on separate timelines, all on the same, sacred time stream.
So King set
no,
up the TVA.
Because that machine wraps once they burnt a timeline, that machine wraps those timelines into one timeline.
It's one timeline, yeah.
So
now
Kang made the TVA so he could control the timeline, so he could cut off other Kangs from becoming powerful.
Basically,
yes. That's like he's the one that remains.
Kang is so formidable that he needs to stop himself, even though he was easily defeated in Quantum Mania. He was killed in
Ant-Man. It's not like he got defeated by the fucking Avengers. He was defeated by Ant-Man.
Well, that's the thing. And now there's an infinite number of ants to fight an infinite number of Kangs. So why can't all the ants just beat the Kangs? We know they can win.
They need communism.
Well, they're in the quantum universe.
No. All you need to do is call Amelia Clark. She'll take care of it all.
Gaia.
Oh, yeah. With that arm.
The multiverse is partially to blame for the migrant crisis. And
it
all
is.
the
They need to build a wall.
Between timelines.
And
that's all it is.
And that's kind of what I mean. They're now establishing multiple different... They're establishing multiple different viewpoints, I guess, on the multiverse itself.
Oh,
and it's...
Remember Crisis on Infinite Earths? The way that they would show the worlds just
vibrating and stuff?
Yeah.
No, they even show it in Secret War. They show you. They listen. Apparently, they couldn't do it in the show, but what they can rely on is people on YouTube making videos conflating canon from the comics into the MCU and projecting it on it where the MCU has never explained it fully. And when they have tried to explain it, they have contradicted each other almost in every single film. So what this multiverse does, and when you're killing trillions, billions, trillions of people and bringing people back all the time, is it makes the stakes meaningless. It makes anything in this is absolutely meaningless. Like, oh, we're going to save the entire universe again. You can't even go bigger than this. So, I mean, they have no choice. This is leading to an obvious reboot. I think it's pretty obvious at this point. Like after Secret Wars, they're rebooting the whole damn thing.
You see, Ironheart got delayed to September of 2025.
What?
No!
Finished!
No way.
It ain't coming out.
Finished!
Ironheart.
2025?
You're right. It's finished.
Yeah, so...
It's finished in January of this year!
Yeah, so it wrapped filming in November of 2022.
Yep.
And it was originally supposed to come out this fall. Well, fall of 2023. And... there's from the copyright office, basically, they got a report for Agatha, Daredevil Reborn or whatever is supposed to be in January of 2025. And there you go. Ironheart got delayed till September of 2025
Yeah, it's not coming out. It's not coming out. It's not coming
Dude,
out.
the girl playing Ironheart's going to be eligible for an
be 30.
AARP card by the time this fucking show comes out.
What do you guys think it's not going to come out?
I think so. There is a legitimate, I suppose, explanation would be if they're trying to line this up with their Armor Wars bullshit. So it's like, hey, we don't have this. This isn't made yet. Blah blah blah. They might have to wait before they could see it. But that's just a reach of a potential reason that they could delay it like that.
And keep this article up. By the way, I'm blocked by CBR now. Armor Wars hasn't even broken story yet. They don't even have a writer. They have a title and Don Cheadle. They have not thought about the show at all.
They've got to stop this. This is the wrong way to produce movies, guys.
Which is why I wonder if, because they probably don't want this to come out in they don't want this to come out in fall and be really fucking bad, and then have Armor Wars, whether it's a Disney Plus show or a fucking movie, whatever they want it to be in like 2027.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I have a good. I'll tell you in the chat. I can't tell. I wish I could. Audience, I wish I could. I know who they talk to about Armor Wars.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah,
Was
yeah.
it me? Was it me?
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh wow!
That's interesting.
Oh, I don't even know who that is.
That's right.
So
I
yeah,
can't believe they reached out to Zack Snyder.
I know. Right? Ironheart series gets major delay at D+. Marvel's upcoming Ironheart. By the way, wait. Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops.
Hey, that was pretty close.
Marvel's upcoming Ironheart series starring Black Panther Wakanda Forever's Dominique Thorne suffers a significant delay. You have to think that I think there's a possibility this doesn't see the light of day. I think they may.
That has to be in
I don't
people's
think so.
minds. At this
Yeah.
point.
I don't think so. I really don't think it's coming out.
I don't think. I mean, 10%, whatever. I mean, this is a massive delay for something that's absolutely finished. It doesn't need anything post production from an actor. By the way, the Film Actors Guild is still on strike, so there's some good news for you. And the long touted Marvel Cinematic Universe miniseries Ironheart gets another significant delay as a new listing confirms the D+ series won't make its debut anytime soon. Oh no.
Yeah. And I think when it does, I bet it gets the Echo treatment where they dump all the episodes at once.
I agree.
If it comes out.
It's the light of day.
Echo still hasn't come out yet. Okay.
No, it hasn't.
Per the Direct, Marvel recently filed a listing for the Ironheart premiere with the U.S. Copyright Office, which seemingly reveals a debut date of September 3rd, 2025.
Oh.
We might not even be alive by then. We're going to have a new president. Probably.
Echo, there's a very good chance Echo's actually lost an episode and it's down to 5 now.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm being serious.
It's finished. Why did they just cut? They were like,
They probably cut
Well,
out
they-
Daredevil, as much of Daredevil as they could, maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what we heard, and we speculated that maybe they removed the Daredevil from it.
The registered date is listed as projected, and it could be an approximation and may shift around or get canceled if necessary. However, the listing suggests that Marvel's plan to release Ironheart, they don't have a fucking plan, by the way, before the late summer of 2025. Neither Marvel Studios nor Disney has confirmed this date. Yeah, if I was them, I wouldn't say anything in it. I'd hope like by September 3rd, 2025, people forget.
People are just going to totally forget.
Oh my God. The reported series premiere date change comes after it was confirmed Ironheart was pushed back to sometime in 2024 after initially set for a release date of later this year.
damn.
However, a later update to Marvel's calendar revealed in September saw Ironheart pulled from the 2024 calendar altogether, while other MCU series such as Daredevil Born Again, and Echo, I haven't heard much about that series, has moved back. The calendar shifts came from the long-standing WGA and Film Actors Guild strikes that gripped Hollywood since May and July, respectively, with the latter still ongoing. Oh,
It's got nothing to do with the strikes at all.
No.
That's
Remember, a lot of these things were delayed back in like February or March or something before the writer's strikes. That's the first time that we saw them really pushed back a lot. So, I mean, obviously, it might make a couple months here or there in terms of the delays we've seen, but that's not why it's being delayed till 2025.
No.
It's going to be an excuse used for a long time, though. Because they can probably get away with a couple of years. Anything that it's a strike.
It's their new COVID.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
They're thinking this, just pure speculation. Marvel's put out a lot of shit over the last, how long is it now? 3 years? They put out one decent movie, and not counting Spider-Man No Way Home, in 3 years. Guardians of the Galaxy, which had nothing to do with this multiversal saga. Maybe they're thinking we need to get a couple of wins under our belt before we put out freaking Ironheart. And I would agree with that, which they're not going to get, by the way. They're not going to get. Maybe they're waiting until after Deadpool. No word on Deadpool yet, but it's not coming out next year. So next year's not looking good for Marvel. One movie right now. One.
Looking good for us.
Looking great.
Looking real good for us.
No, actually looking great for humanity and pop culture overall, you know. But
And which movie's coming out? Is that the Captain America one?
Captain Black Falcon America.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's not even a good one.
Nope.
No, it's not.
Harrison
It's kind of
Ford's-
they're forcing him back into the old model of making one movie a year. But before they made good movies when they made one movie. That's the difference.
Big.
Sadly.
Going out on a limb here, I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a big difference there.
Big difference. In September, industry insiders reported that the likely reason Ironheart had been pushed back is because it fucking sucks. Oh, I'm sorry, that was me.
Editorializing.
Sorry. Back as far is due to Marvel wanting to sync the show with the release of Don Cheadle's upcoming film. Is it a film?
Yes.
I thought it was a
Yeah, it
series.
is.
So it's a film going on Disney Plus.
I don't know where it's going.
I thought
It can
Armor
go up
Wars.
my ass for all I give a
No,
shit.
wait a minute. Wait. Armor Wars was supposed to go on Disney Plus. Wasn't a film. That's weird.
Who knows?
Okay. Well, you know what? You know what the problem with Armor Wars is, guys? It's right out there.
Everything?
It's
Tony Stark.
Yeah,
Tony Stark,
it's an
yeah.
Iron Man story without Iron Man in it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, but they have their replacement Ironheart.
This is CBR, so it could just be a typo. or something.
yeah.
CBR has
Ironheart.
333,000 followers on Twitter. Their articles get 15 fucking likes in 4 or 5 hours. Nobody fucking gives a shit about this site no more.
I mean, we've reached a point with War Machine now where I'd think it'd be more interesting if it was the Skrull and you got to see like the double agent side of it. Now we know the truth, rather than it just being original War Machine again. Because
Like
kind of
show me how he faked everything. Show me how he faked all these friendships. Show me the moment where he was saying goodbye to Tony in Endgame that it was actually fucking meaningless because he was
guys,
fake.
stop
Show me all of that.
Stop misgendering. She. It was a she.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Show me the female Skrull jerking off with Don Cheadle's dick. That's what I want.
That's a post-credit scene.
Oh.
That would be Armor Wars.
Hey!
I made a Christmas joke.
Oh.
Feel my leg.
Camera was on the whole time, huh?
Oh, Jarvis was on. Oh,
Show me
Jarvis.
show me how the Skrull feels after they realize they get an N-word pass. Right? Like that kind of shit. Show me these things.
That was a good week.
Armor Wars, which centers around James Rhodey Rhodes' War Machine, like Armor Wars.
Rhodey's really potty mouthed recently, hasn't he? Yeah.
Ironheart has ties to the Iron Man franchise, except for Iron Man, with the titular character inspired to make an armored suit mirroring one. No, he didn't make it.
I don't know why you're reading the rest of this fucking
Fuck,
thing.
I don't care.
It's probably written by AI.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of this. That's a good
Somebody
point.
has to read it. I mean, come on. CBR is in trouble, guys.
So, did Loki save the? Everybody's going to ask this throughout the the next 5 weeks. So it's 5 weeks of Loki. They really should have done 2 episodes for the premiere because that first episode ends like like things are just getting started, and it ends. And yes, coming off of Ahsoka, it was downright compelling. It kept me awake, and I between lines of dialogue in Ahsoka, I could answer emails, go to the bathroom, mow my lawn. It was.
Prep your taxes.
Yeah.
You might as well. You have the time.
But I think what they're setting up, even though I kind of knew the spoiler, was pretty obvious. Should I put spoilers up again? I mean, it could be wrong. Could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. But Lysa Arryn is in this. What was her name again?
Like
Boss Girl number 3.
That's it.
Dr. Crane or some shit. I don't fucking know.
Could be an older version of Sylvie. So
Ugly enough to be.
ouch.
What about the little one? That could be Sylvie too.
As pointed out on Twitter, that she has aged a little bit since the last time we saw her.
A little bit.
She looks.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not trying
Let me
to be.
see if I can pull it
I'll
up.
bring it up. I'm not trying to be cruel, but holy fuck, I was like, shit.
I think she's got a wig on. In
Her
this
name's
shot.
General Docs, by the way.
What?
She's big fans of Twitter, of Kiwi films.
General Docs.
I didn't recognize her without an 8-year-old breastfeeding on her. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, right? you figured that would be the Disney property.
Yeah,
What was that scene? What was that scene in Loki? Because I can't remember the first series at all, so maybe it's in that. But it was like Out of the Boys, where the soldier comes up to her and they're like touching heads with each other. I was like, it got really creepy.
I know what you're talking about. It was like a mommy relationship. It was, very unsettling.
There's something weird going on. Like she has sway over him or something, which is why I think a lot of people think that could be Sylvie.
Yeah,
it looked very much like the boys.
So wait, you have a problem with how she looks in this?
Well, I mean,
I mean, she just looks quite emaciated.
Well, I think that, one, she's clearly hungry. She just said, "I'm looking for food that's not a fucking rat, a squirrel, like blah blah." So obviously, where she's coming from is that wasn't the case.
And she orders one of everything.
She orders one of everything, exactly. And she's gonna end up working there, I guess.
Yeah, but she orders one of everything because she wants to experience it.
That's true.
She looks around at the family
because she's emaciated.
She sees a nice black couple having French fries and is like, "This is what I want in my life."
Well, it makes her cry.
She misses herself, who is Loki.
I had a dream.
Yeah, she misses herself.
I wanted to have blackjack.
I'd be pissed if I was McDonald's,
I'll
though.
try one of everything.
Like, you pay Loki for an advertisement, and they stick it right at the end behind the credits.
Well,
That's
it's,
insulting.
no. They're about to have it again.
It's
like I think
it's
the next
all over,
episode
yeah.
they're gonna go back and find her, and she's gonna be working there.
Yeah.
Oh man, are they gonna have like a dance scene?
Did you hear about the promotion? They like took a Brooklyn McDonald's and turned it into an 80s McDonald's for Loki, and nobody got stabbed
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
that day.
That's
This was the most nostalgia I had in the episode was old school McDonald's.
I know. This took me back. I'm like, oh, I remember when they made hamburgers that looked like hamburgers.
Yeah, I remember when I didn't have to go there and flip a coin whether my order was gonna fucking be right.
Right.
That's so nice. Wow.
You know you're in a
No, so
bad
they blurred
area.
out the prices.
You know you're in a bad area of town when fucking you've got a McDonald's on the window says we take EBT.
Don't they all
she's
know?
39. You gotta be kidding us, chat. I thought she was like 50.
She's got that like Hollywood
Before,
vegan
after you
kind
saw
of
this.
look.
Yeah, there's some vegan stuff going on
Looks
there.
so gaunt.
Vegan
It's kind of under the eyes.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
doesn't gaunt. Yeah.
Maybe they wanted it on purpose. I don't know if they'd let her have bags.
Might be
like
a
that.
makeup thing.
Might be makeup. Yeah.
In lighting,
Yeah,
very
like
harsh
the
lighting can make
lighting
you
in the
look older.
McDonald's. I don't think she doesn't look distractingly bad to me at all.
I think this is makeup. Yeah.
Nobody looks great at a McDonald's.
They used to.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
look at that black couple.
she doesn't have any fucking food, or sorry, she doesn't have any money. So should they make her work there?
Yeah, that's
what
what I was thinking too.
This isn't Apple.
But this is your post-credit scene. So like this horrible 3 years that Marvel has had, and this is what they shovel up at us, and like people are, again, praising it for just not completely sucking. That's how bad Marvel is. It's like, oh, it only kind of sucked. But there is room for a lot of suck after this, believe me. And we haven't seen.
I'm up for a lot of suck.
But that's why I think it's
we know.
important to go back and watch older TV shows, because it resets your quality bar. And if you just watch modern stuff, it will get lower because you'll start comparing it to things you've seen recently. Yeah. And if you haven't seen good stuff recently, eventually you just be like, okay, I'll accept this. It's better than everything else.
I just binge watched 8 seasons of Suits. That's certainly not great, but I couldn't stop watching it for some reason.
I just watched Get Ready to Drink, One Piece, and then I'm rewatching House of the Dragon right now. So yeah, this all looks like shit. This looks like utter shit compared to that. Dude, Ryan, I'm so excited for House of Dragon season 2. I can't fucking wait.
Dude, probably summer-ish of 2024. I can't wait for it. I'm really excited. That's one show that I really thought was going to be shit. I thought I was going to hate it. I hated everything I was hearing from all the actors, from everybody, and I was like so pleasantly surprised. That first episode, I'm like, I kind of like it. That's weird,
dude.
And then the second episode, I'm like, I'm all in. It was great.
Yep. No, it looks.
That's reinvigorated my care about Game of Thrones. To be honest, with
totally. I'm rereading that stupid book again. And the show is better than the book, like 1,000 times better, because people talk in it and you see interactions and you actually get. By the way, the show is the definitive version of this story. That is according to George.
According to
George, that is until he changes his mind.
Yeah.
Just wanted to point out that George had plenty of time to work on Wins a Winner over the last 5 months during the Writers Guild strike and didn't finish it.
He was
Just like the rest of the writers.
He was on strike.
Not from his refrigerator. He had a birthday. He's like 74 now.
It's never getting finished. He's going to die.
I don't want him to die.
No, I mean, Gary,
I don't want him to die. I want him to finish
Do you think you could prevent
I want him to
it?
finish the fucking book. Then he can die.
After that,
he's got 2
when he's like 1,000. Come on.
And he's got the entire Dunk and Egg series to finish too, by the way.
I know. Which is pretty
maybe he
damn
left
good.
notes. Somebody good
somebody
could
will
come
come
back
in and finish it, even though he said
finish it up.
they won't.
Like
Somebody will.
I actually like I almost want like care about that ending a little bit more than the main line, because I really want to know what happened at Summer Hall.
I think that we'll get an answer to. I think because I think
that is the culmination of that story. That's what George has said.
Yes.
That like that's how Dunk and Egg will finish. You'll find out what happened.
The reason he's been holding off on Summer Hall is because that resolution has something to do with a game, with A Song of Ice and Fire, with the main story. Like, it is a major clue to the main story. And they've already let one little spoiler out with Aegon's dragon dream. That was never mentioned in any book. That it was always like, we have no idea why Aegon conquered Westeros, and now we know. Because he had a dream about the White Walkers. So that was a major spoiler, but I guess they needed to do it, and it helped with the show. All right, Loki was meh. It was a whole lot of nothing. Kind of wasted our time. A bunch of setup. Ki-Hu Kwan as OB he's fine. Love seeing Short Round. He was fine.
Yeah, it was good.
But honestly, the little tricks they were doing, it's done so much better in Stephen Moffat's Doctor Who, particularly season 5. Towards the end, Pandora opens. They do all kinds of fun shit with time. That wasn't as clever. Loki wasn't as clever.
I just don't like seeing Tom Hiddleston's Loki as this like altruistic, like just purely altruistic guy who's running around trying to save the universe.
And the only reason he's like that is because he watched a flashback of him in a different universe.
He got a Cliff Notes version of his own life through a projector.
I'll be honest. I don't even view it as Loki anymore. I just honestly was viewing this as something completely different.
It's a totally different character, but then that's stupid. And again, the show doesn't run through him. He is chasing around female Loki, because that's what this show is about. It's about female Loki, and she will be the most important in it. She might end up fighting herself at the end of this. That's what could happen.
God, you're
okay.
Oh, he is hoping.
Mark it now.
What is the most MCU thing? Well, the female character who replaces the male character will fight a fucking female, version of herself.
To find out who she is.
Well, no, I guess
then they're both great in the end.
I guess in these days I need to specify that she will be fighting a female version of herself.
And even in this, like, he's very whiny, and she may not have been in it for long, but he still got her to go, I just needed time to think, but she was so certain she knows everything, but I just needed time. And it's like, oh, just shut up.
No, the
best if you can't keep up with her.
Disparu, well, maybe it's not your favorite scene, but it was mine. As tweeted about it before I could, was the two men talking about how women kick their ass.
Oh, my God.
Oh, she kicked me down the stairs as well. No, I thought you were going to say, when he's on the tape recorder and you've got Kang going to say, you're so amazing you are. I'm so glad you joined me in leading this, but I couldn't have done it without you. Like, she's not even in the episode, and she's still getting positive affirmation all the time.
I think there's a chance that's who pruned Loki.
Maybe. Okay, so Renslayer, in one of the storylines from the comics, she dies, and she is Kang's lover, and that's the reason that's his motivation. But I doubt Marvel would fridge a woman, so they'll co-lead, but she'll actually be the boss at some point.
Do you know that two men talking about women kicking their asses isn't the Bechdel test? It's the rectal test.
Rectal test.
Because that's where they stick it.
I'm glad that's making the rounds again, because it is old news, but I popped up because by the way, I'm going to out you, Chris Gore. You're part of this organization, the Critics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this Critics organization that has a Sophie Award for the best usage of women in a screenplay, whatever the fuck it is. Women existing in a screenplay.
Ahsoka scored a perfect.
Perfect
10 out of 10
for the Sophie Award.
And they base it on the Bechdel test.
Which is a joke.
Which was a joke. The lesbian woman who looks like a dude said, no, it's not supposed to be a gauge of anything.
Wow.
It was a joke.
It was
parody.
a joke.
Yeah.
A gauge.
A gauge.
I just heard gay.
Really? Disparu, did you review Loki yet? I was kind of busy this morning. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I'll watch after the live stream. Sorry, I watch everybody's videos, unlike Az, and I give a like too.
I mean, at this point, there's been so. The thing is, I only like to review one show at a time, and there's just so many at the moment. It's like some of them are going to have to drop, so it's probably going to be Loki. Because if it's just like this all the way through, why?
Yeah.
Like,
It's probably going to be mid.
Literally episodes that have no need to exist, even in their own series to tell the plot. Like Ahsoka was already getting that way. It's like, this is nothing happening. All we're going to do is move 10 feet to the next thing. Wasn't there like 3 episodes before we got off one planet? And you're just like...
With these D+ shows, because you know what, Disparu? I used to review every episode of a show. And then with the D+ stuff, I'm like, oh, I can do the first couple episodes and then wait till the end. Because nothing happens in the middle, ever. And it's worked out pretty well. So maybe you just do that. Wait till the end. Because honestly, Secret Invasion was just kind of was bad. It was bad, but it was kind of boring bad. And then it got horrifically bad at the end. So I was like, wow.
That's when the writers like whip out all their tricks and they're like, yeah, this is going to really be exciting.
Let's have a kindergartner make up a superhero.
That's the thing that got me with The Mandalorian. It's like I started it and then I don't really care about doing the rest of these, so it kind of died off. And then they introduced Jack Black and Lizzo. I'm like, I wish it carried on now. So every time it's bit me in the ass when I've stopped.
No, you're right. Jonathan Majors comes in, so that can always make... Well, I heard his performance in it sucks. I heard it's terrible. It's utterly terrible.
Oh, I'm sure he has a lot going on his mind right now, so, you know, might distract.
Jonathan Majors.
Oh, like he's gonna be in it, but he's gonna be in several episodes, but I don't know how much. His face is in this one a fucking lot. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Stone face.
How much do you think they're gonna pivot with Jonathan Majors after all of the stuff that came out? Like before, it seemed like they were building up. They're gonna build him all the way up to.
I don't think they're
Thanos
gonna
level.
change anything.
They can't. Ryan made a video because I watched it. It's like 3 minutes long. Wasn't that long of a watch, but
Easy.
Yeah. So Ryan mentioned that, and you're right. They need this. That like they can't change anything. The plans are already moving ahead. They've hired post-production. They've rented out studios. They've got their own studio space. They've got release dates. They can push them back, but they cannot stop this story. They should. They should cut everything off and just do Secret Wars and reboot. That's what they should do.
And that has nothing to do with Jonathan Majors. Like
it's just the way that
It's just in general.
Yeah.
That's just because people aren't receiving it well. Because Ant-Man was a catastrophe. Because people really don't care about it. Then you add the stuff on. And again, Jonathan Majors is still set to have his day in court at some point in time. We've certainly seen fucking women lie about this shit. We've seen men do bad things and then lie. Like, we've seen all that stuff. So we'll see. He'll have his day in court. It's not great headlines, but I just think they're too far into it to cut that out at this point.
I just don't know how you could even tell that. Like, I know it's from the comic books, but from a fresh point of view, I don't understand how you tell this. You're going to have multiple things where he's the villain, and then he gets defeated, and then there's a movie about him where I'm supposed to take him seriously as a villain. And I already can't take him seriously.
Well, he was defeated twice at this point. He was defeated in season 1 of Loki, and then now in Ant-Man.
The argument, I guess, would be now that you have the Council of Kangs all hooting and hollering in that arena, that they like their forces combined can take on any
there's an infinite number of heroes to fight an infinite number of Kangs.
If they can all get on the same page, yes. But that's kind of what I think they'll eventually draw to. It'll be drawing heroes from every single different multiverse to fight the army of Kangs.
I got a hot take. I think the reason they chose Kang as a villain because they wanted to cast an actor of color, and they needed.
Yeah, they wanted to make him black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason they fucking chose Kang. It wasn't because he's the better villain, because Mephisto would have been a better villain. Like a much better villain.
You know who would have been a better villain that's maybe just sitting there like
Dr. Doom?
Dr. fucking Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just bring Galactus in and he could just eat everybody and we can just end this.
And I personally thought they wanted to do it because isn't Kang a descendant of Reed Richards?
Yes.
So Nathaniel Kang or something. So but like what that could open things up to is them having an excuse to also make Reed Richards black.
Oh,
that's always what
that's going
my
to
assumption
happen.
Was.
There's no way they're going to have an all-white Fantastic Four. No way in hell.
Yep.
They should. Yes, they should. Because that's what they look like in the comic books. That's your brand as the first family of comic books. That's what started this era of superheroes that we're still in. Sure, DC was doing stuff before, but Marvel made it sexy, made it cool, made DC rethink their stuff too, although they were kind of doing it before. But Marvel kind of did what the MCU did. They took what DC was doing and made it better.
Mm-hmm.
So like DC tried to start it, Marvel perfected it, lasted for decades until corporations got a hold of it, and now it's shit. Dead. Sorry to hear that. Comics are never
Just
better.
like the
though.
movies.
Oh, we're definitely got to talk about Gail Simone in a little bit.
Oh.
Because that's some
Let
funny
me get that
shit.
tweet.
That
is some
that
funny
tweet.
shit.
Funny shit. But you know, Disney Marvel's making the same mistakes that the publishers did. They're going through the motions. I mean, I think Bounding said that they're going to be moving towards the all new, all different. They're in it. They're in the middle of it right now.
Yeah, where have you been?
They're still moving towards it.
Miss
We've been
Marvel,
moving towards it since 2018.
Ironheart.
Maybe I misread
Like,
it
what are you
though.
talking
So
about?
to be fair to them, but
Maybe.
yeah,
Female Thor.
We're in the
Like, we're
middle
in
of
it,
it.
dude.
Yeah, like they have gone through most of the all new, all different characters.
Hot female Hawkeye. We're never gonna miss.
Yep.
Kate Bishop. At least they got kind of a. You know what's funny is
That like in
Echo.
retrospect, I actually didn't mind Hawkeye compared to a lot of the other stuff that's come out. Like I found the character of Kate Bishop a little annoying, but I really liked the fact that she respected Jeremy Renner and wanted to impress Jeremy Renner.
well, and they got an actress who was kind of like. I mean, the writing was shit, and it turned into shit. But the girl they got to play her has way more personality than anything I ever fucking read in the comic books. Which she was a shit character in the comic books. Remember when she was looking at two lesbians and said, "I
man,
love
she's like,
lesbians."
Oh, to be lesbian.
Oh, to be a lesbian.
I wish I was lesbian.
All lesbians, because if this is what it's like to be a lesbian, then I just say you go be lesbian.
Bump those clams.
Yeah, but like the end of that series sucked because they made the whole thing about Kingpin, and
It was terrible, dude.
I hated seeing him go down like that. It's so stupid.
When he had his Brian Boitano costume on, and then they had him on ice, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. It was so bad.
But up until that last episode, there was actually some parts I enjoyed, and maybe that's because I like Jeremy Renner too.
I did too.
I like the fact that they didn't. Obviously, he was like older. Like she wanted so badly to be him and impress him, and that's something that I don't think we see enough of. I think it's the opposite. We see these fucking characters that think they're better than these other characters, that deride and dismiss these other characters. I didn't.
She was charming. She was very
What
charming.
brought the show down was Echo, even though she didn't say a fucking word in it. And unfortunately, Vincent D'Onofrio coming in to let Kingpin get cucked instantly. You know what? There's a big bad for Marvel. There's a major villain for Marvel, Kingpin.
Well, not anymore. They just fucking cucked him.
No,
Yeah,
you're
like-
right.
Let's take him
And then
seriously.
they did Daredevil the next show.
Think of how like the battles between and how long it took for Daredevil to really like beat up Kingpin.
Dude, Kingpin
You know what I
beat the
mean?
shit out of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know?
He's powerful.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to Echo,
Not when he put on his
weakest.
Hawaiian shirt underneath.
Not when he put on his Hawaiian shirt, and it was all over. Right.
Gets him right
there.
here.
He started eating
And-
pineapple on pizza, and it was all over.
No.
I don't know. I personally thought his Hawaiian shirt was fire, if you catch my drift.
Soon.
It's never too soon.
It's never too soon.
Well, it's still warm. That's the perfect time.
It's like the burnt pineapple pizza memes that came out of that.
That was hilarious. Okay, I'm
Hey,
sorry
it
to
was.
say.
Yeah.
Nothing blue on those pizzas though. Thank you. Gail, Simone, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, real quick, we'll get a couple of soups, then we'll talk about Ahsoka. Ass sucker. It's finally fucking over. Put out a video earlier today. Great job editing, by
Thank
the
God.
way. Quarter Black. You know, Az
Thank
wouldn't
you.
know because he didn't watch it, but whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Your
pull up
Ahsoka
the tweet.
review?
Yeah.
I've had a busy day, Gary.
Loki.
Why don't you watch our videos?
Oh, hold on. I'm just going to stop doing my work to watch Gary's video.
I watched
You know
your
what I
video
liked
in the
about
gym.
your video, Gary? I liked how many other YouTubers that you put in that were like gasping and reacting. Like, I was like, I never realized how many of them there are.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Did you notice it was every time somebody said Anakin?
Yeah.
When Wheel of Time first got released in season 1, those were the only videos that ever got recommended to you. This is why everyone was like, I hate this show, but everyone seems to think it's amazing. Every single one was that, and in the title just went, haven't read the books. And that was the only
Of course you haven't.
opinion that anyone had of the show until like week 5.
Dude,
It's a whole genre on YouTube.
Disparu, is
Reactions,
anybody
yeah.
talking about Wheel of Time besides you and Shad?
No. It's basically well,
It's beating Ahsoka in the Nielsen ratings.
There's the few people from the previous that covered the previous season, but like all the React channels, I don't think they're even bothering at this point. There's not much reason for them to.
No, and it's gonna fall out of the charts soon. By the way, Shad will be back next week. He got the shit beat out of him by an emu, and he couldn't make it. So
I thought you were gonna say a bear.
no, one of my agents went over there and beat the crap out of him. Vegemite sucking Aussie. You got that? You got that tweet?
Oh, I got the whole article.
So those of you who have been around this channel since the old days, since me and Comics Division were in the chats of Englentine, Captain Cummings, who lost his mind, Diversity in Comics when he used to live stream from his lap, and you'd see his like white socks and shit. Remember that?
Like, what color are your socks?
I don't wear white socks.
Yellow.
What the fuck?
I don't wear
I'm a
white.
Socks.
I'm
dude.
wearing white
No,
socks.
his,
right
his
now.
socks
black
have like
socks.
little TARDISes on them and stuff. Like,
No, they don't.
Oh, that's so nerdy.
You know
it's
they
cute.
do.
My socks are like little socks that just cover my feet and my shoes, but they're usually black. Yeah.
Like little ones like this?
Black or
Oh,
charcoal.
the ankle socks.
No,
I don't,
ankle
I don't fucking
socks?
wear white. I can't wear white. It's
This is way better. The
Wait,
ankle
was it
socks
after
are
fucking
perfect.
Labor Day or
After
something? What are you
Labor
talking
Day.
it's always after Labor Day for me, Ryan. I'm the man in black. I'm like
it
Johnny
reminds him of
Cash.
prison, Ryan.
I'll put on colors when nobody's in prison anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I just like black. That's all. I don't like the color white, and I get shit dirty all the time. So
I don't like the color white.
I'm the opposite of you, Gary.
obviously,
I'm a big fan of all things white.
I don't wear white socks. I think they look gay as hell. But that's
Yeah,
me.
they do, especially if you're wearing black.
Well, yeah, obviously, if you're
Yeah.
wearing like black pants and like black shoes,
Yeah.
you're gonna wear black socks.
And
but
I always wear black pants and black shoes. You ever seen me in white pants or blue pants or no?
Well, you've
Maybe
never
you should
been
branch
to
out.
I feel like
You
I've seen
should-
you not with black.
You should gray, but you still wear black with gray. You should pay more
can wear
attention
white
to my
with gray.
What- just
Ryan,
to be
Ryan,
clear,
you should pay more
White is
attention to my
basically the
wardrobe.
default color. sock. So,
This is now a fashion show.
yeah, like that's just the reality. So
This
what
would fit
you're
into
saying is,
Ahsoka.
like,
We should
yeah,
call it
man.
the male gaze.
Yeah.
All right, so Gail Simone's top 10 pet peeves of comics offer a stern warning to a failed industry. 5.
Five.
Her top 5. I think
Number
if
one,
I should have
people
jumped right
wear
point.
white socks.
Yes, that's it. No, I mean, true. But if I was to make a top 5 people who helped destroy the comic book industry,
Gail Simone would be towards
Gail
the top.
Simone would be towards the fucking top. The way she treated fans. And
Have you got the tweet from today, by the way?
no, but we can get it. You can get
there's
it.
another
I got it. I've got it right here.
Okay, so
Wow.
let's read a little bit of this to give context, and then you tell me when to slip it in there.
Oh,
There you go. Did the
Very
tone?
fast.
Did the tone just change?
Scary ASMR.
That's right. Increasingly, the comic industry is seeing professionals, retailers, and fans grumble about the collapse of the mainstream comics. From Mark Millar talking on Thinking Critical. Thanks for completely ignoring that he talked on the real BBC.
Yeah, what the heck, bro?
Bounding.
Jeez.
There's a great interview on the real BBC where we discussed this. I mean, I like Thinking Critical, by the way, very much so. But we would discuss this beforehand. So go watch that. Go watch real BBC and then Thinking Critical. Maybe we should get Mark Millar on this show.
Maybe we should.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of cool.
Hey, we have a comic guy coming on soon, don't we?
Yep.
We do.
Kelly
We do.
effing Jones. That's right. Coming on soon. Thinking Critical to IDW posting record losses. Almost everyone has an opinion, including Gail Simone, who talked about her 5 biggest pet peeves of the industry in a Facebook group this week. Now, before we get to the next paragraph, Bounding Into Comics did an article on a Joe Field. I knew Joe back when I was doing my comic book stuff. He's the owner of Flying Color Comics in Walnut Creek, California. He's also the inventor of Free Comic Book Day. He is
Free Comic Book Gay?
Yeah.
There's plenty to choose from.
There's so many of
The
them
agenda
now.
is
They've gotta give them
infused in the
away.
industry.
Well, it's
It's
free.
Gary's head.
We should have known that's what they were trying to do to our children.
honestly, I mean, they're all gay now, right? So it's not really a Freudian
Every
slip.
superhero is
So
gay.
he invented Free Comic Book Day, but he put up an anniversary post where he's like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be here for the next major anniversary. Guy's been retailing for 35 years. So we're already seeing like major shops contract, close, possibly. The fact that he even threw it out there is crazy. Is fucking crazy because he's one of the best retailers in the country. So yeah, people are thinking about it because it's all falling apart. It's starting to affect them now, which they didn't think it would. They all thought they can be on Hollywood's teat forever. And it turns out that's drying up too.
That guy's like a canary in a coal mine full of dead canaries.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good way of putting it, man.
Scroll down, please. Here's the tweet. Simone, by the way, Gail Simone, inventor of the term fridging.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And she Me Too'd Ron Mars before there was even a Me Too
Yeah,
movement.
she basically was a troll that tried to get somebody canceled.
Yeah.
To be like super fair to Gail, she thought that fridging meant that women just got to eat a lot. So like when she found out that wasn't it, she got really upset.
The thing is,
She got hangry.
She's still fridging. based
of
on
all
that
the
photo.
of all the criticisms to make of a story, this man loves his wife so much he wants to avenge her is a really weak one to make. If anything, you should be pleased that it's like a love story that starts into a different one, rather than go, I can't believe you managed to kill her for no reason. It's like, no, like you should want people to go and protect their loved ones.
Yeah, the idea is like from their perspective, which is retarded, but it's like that women are only used basically as throwaway things for motivation for the men to like they don't actually have storylines or plots. They just simply exist to be harmed so that someone else can go and avenge them.
Well, she completely inconveniently forgets about the death of Robyn, which is like a big one,
Unless,
a massive one.
Unless of course you're on the streets of New York at 4 a.m.
Yeah, is that too?
Try any hour of the day right now.
God, what a hellhole!
That's why it wouldn't work. A man would have been really upset if they saw their girlfriend or wife stabbed to death by a fucking crackhead. But the woman not so shaken up, it seems.
No, she didn't even want to give a description. According,
Yeah, she couldn't remember what he looked like.
She was like, look, I'm not gonna tell you what he looks like, but I will tell you that he's very loud at the movies. And he's currently looting a Target right now. You can still find
I know what he looks like.
You might find him at the park having a family reunion.
He be
He looks like
Robyn.
He looks like a blurry square.
So here's Gail Simone's hot take.
And they got him.
Number one, not making sure veteran pros have work if they want it.
Yeah.
Which veteran pros? Is it veteran
Chuck
pros
Dixon?
like, Chuck Dixon? There's a lot. Graham Nolan?
Isn't she taking a place of veteran pro that could be
I'm
working?
pretty sure she's referring to herself.
Comics,
she thinks she's a veteran
right.
pro?
Let me tell you
No,
something.
I would not consider her a veteran pro, but I'm pretty sure she does.
This whole list is her.
Yes,
There's
about her,
nothing
wow.
respecting stories that came before. She's talking about her. Not allowing the artist to contribute in the room. She's talking about people that work with her. Price point because she can't fucking sell anything. And lack of distribution because nobody wants her shit.
Well, and when she made stuff that people actually read back in the days of Birds of Prey, she was always fucking late. And she was the reason it was late. Like, artists being late, somewhat late, it's understandable because you're an artist, you're doing most of the work. Writers being late is fucking ridiculous. For a comic book script of what? 30 pages? It's like a one-page script.
It's 20 pages back in the day.
Yeah.
22 back.
But Birds of Prey was always freaking late, but she was always on Twitter, even back then, back when Twitter just started. So not making sure veteran pros have work if they want it. Not respecting the stories that came before. What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
Well, as if
Gary,
I wonder if there was people that are talking about that, 5 years ago.
Did I just slip into
Gary,
another
Gary,
fucking timeline?
This is where we need to see the tweet. This is where we need to see the tweet.
I know what
Gail
tweet you're
just
talking about.
Self-owns the shit out of herself right now. This is, I'm pretty sure this is an old tweet by Gail. The tent pole that holds up the industry, a white, cis, straight, able-bodied, oh, fuck you, fucking stupid, fucking fat fuck, and male. It's okay to chip away at that. Oopsies.
Oopsies, especially that male part at the end. I would say fucking anybody uses the word cis, just I don't respect anything you say. You're retarded. It's a male industry, male-dominated industry at the highest point of female readership for mainstream American superhero comics. I would guess that might be 5%.
5%.
And I think I'm overestimating.
Yes.
5%. But they went all in back in 2014 comics. You remember this? There was a poll on fucking Facebook.
Yes.
Facebook poll that's asked the question, are you interested in comic books? And it was like 50-50. Men and women said, yes, of course we are. And all of a sudden the industry's like, oh my God, we have new readers. It's women. No, women like to cosplay. Women like the idea of comic books. Women are not going to a comic book shop every week and picking up their subs. They're not picking up their weekly comics.
Purely anecdotal. You could go to a comic book shop and just look and see who is in there. Majority men.
Dude,
maybe you'll see a mom with her kids. Maybe you'll see a girl with her boyfriend. Yes, there are female comic book readers, but there are far more men that read them.
Yep.
This is Gail is allegedly a writer. I mean, I've always thought she's mid at best, even with Birds of Prey. But look at this. Look at her language. The tent poles that hold up the industry.
Poles.
The tent poles that hold it together. The fucking pillars which stop this thing from falling the fuck down are white, cis, straight, able-bodied male. So it's okay to get rid of them. What happened, Gail? What happened when you did that?
It's funny do you guys remember that photo with her and Kelly Sue DeConnick?
I'm sure that's got to be in this article. That's got to be.
Yeah. Great job, guys.
Yeah.
Scroll down, see if I'm sure John put that in or whoever.
No, I don't think it is.
They didn't. How could they not do that? There is a tweet of her and Kelly Sue DeConnick going, "Oh, sorry, we took over the industry. Not sorry.
Sorry, you destroyed the industry.
You're gay, Bobby."
So she's go back to her top 5 again. So not respecting what came before.
She's done that.
Not allowing the artist room to contribute. Price point, lack of distribution options. Okay, so price point, they put it on more expensive paper. The comic books didn't need to be this expensive. They could have put them on cheaper paper, and that's why manga's kicking their ass. Lack of distribution options. There was no distribution options outside of Diamond. Nobody wanted to compete. Nobody wanted to compete with with them because the industry was being artificially held up through basically, the accidental monopoly of Diamond and the direct market. A lot of people, a lot of retailers kept and cock-blocked comic books from going into places like 7-Elevens and grocery stores. And so that had a lot to do with it. Not allowing artists room to contribute. It's true. The era of the writer kind of came in, and writers were like basically telling artists to fuck off, and artists did for the most part. And artists also got priced out of the industry because they couldn't increase the price anymore because they couldn't sell comic books. For over a decade, they've been relying on fucking variants, which is having people buy the same comic book over and over again. That's not a growing industry. It's a dying industry. Then it going digital hurts it a little more. Then they went all in on trade paperbacks, which started dying out because they started writing every comic book for a trade paperback. And it's been a long, slow death. Chuck Dixon's right. Comic books killed themselves. They committed suicide.
Self-inflicted gunshot.
And now it's over. It's fucking over. You aren't coming back from this, Gail Simone. Hopefully you can write, instructions on the back of a cereal box or something like that, because that's what you're going to be doing.
Can I just say something about something comic related? This is
sure.
Something.
Right. So this is nothing against Sean Gordon Murphy. Got nothing against the guy. Sean Gordon Murphy put on Indiegogo the plot holes.
Yeah.
Which was his own.
I thought that was the Ahsoka series.
That's just Marvel in general.
By the way, horrible title for
yes,
a Sean Gordon Murphy comic book.
I like Sean Gordon Murphy's
I do too.
artwork. I like his writing.
Good artist.
This is being heralded within the mainstream comic book industry as like the hottest independent shit out there. And at San Diego Comic-Con, big lines to go see him, have it signed and all that kind of stuff. The plot holes brought in, I'll do it in dollars for your benefit, $267,000 in the campaign, shifting 3,248 backers. Isom #1 hit $800,000 in the first 24 hours. And in less than 48 hours was on $1 million. Isom 2 did $1 million within 24 hours. Eric July sold 60,000 books of Isom #1 with approximately 42,000 individual purchasers, which is about 8%. Sean Gordon Murphy is about 8% of that. The mainstream industry, their whole writers, artists, everybody, and most importantly for this, marketing and press is also incestuously turned in on itself, that all they do is talk about themselves, and that's all they want to talk about. Meanwhile, somebody like Eric July has come along and fucked every one of them up the ass. He's come and taken a huge market share from the mainstream. Eric July is the biggest fucking thing in independent comics right now, and it's not even close. Not even close. And will any of the mainstream media, comics media, or just mainstream media, talk about Eric July's success? No. Why? Because he doesn't have the right political ideology for them. And by the way, the right political ideology in the comic book industry is an excuse to get rid of people who you don't want to try and push yourself, as most ideology is. It's all fake. So we have Eric July doing that. A person particularly with Isom #1 that didn't have any of the firepower of Sean Gordon Murphy with all of his body at work at DC, all of the press, all of his great stuff that he's done, his reputation, all of that didn't even come close. Didn't even come close to what Eric July did with his own money, with his own idea, and putting it out there. Sean Gordon Murphy's just released Zorro for Massive Publishing yesterday on Indiegogo. It's on about $166,000 after nearly 2 days. Not even close to Isom again. This is the mainstream industry. So you just think of that in the context of Eric July, and then I'll add one more thing. Manga. what happened when you have something which sells in ridiculous numbers that pushes into a marketplace that is too busy fucking sucking its own dick? I'm just interested to see Bleeding Cool because I want to see an article about my writing, my this, my that. Not worried about what the customers want, not worried about the crumbling sales, all about optics, 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 and optics. And manga just come in and flood the US market.
There would be half the comic book shops in America that there are right now if it wasn't for manga.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they didn't pivot to manga, they'd be screwed. So Hollywood, take a listen to what Az just said and what everybody was saying back when people actually talked about comics and were trying to do things to save it a few years ago, the mainstream industry. Look at it now. That's where you're going. That's exactly where you're going. They made every mistake you're currently making now, and we are seeing the end results first. The comic industry, the American mainstream comic book industry was the precursor to what's going on in all of entertainment. You know, it hit gaming first, but you know,
not according to Dan Vask.
But you know, a sign an ecosystem is failing is when the lower life forms start dying off, and quite frankly, the American comic book industry was the lower life form in overall entertainment, and it's dead. It's dead. And it's, you know, it's going to go back to where it belongs. It's going to be niche. It's going to be independent creators. The best mainstream writer in comic books right now is Mark Millar, like without a doubt. One of the most seminal writers out there, who should be writing half the comic books at DC, isn't Chuck Dixon. Chuck Dixon's been doing it for years. Yes. If you put him in charge of DC right now, DC be a better place. But it's too late. And why would, and Chuck has said it himself, why would I go back? Why would I take the pay cut? Like, well, you know, he has, and he's doing great where he is. He just released another Conan book. So,
he's just about to release Alpha Core at the end of this month
for Rippaverse. Yeah. So that's your lesson, Hollywood. I'm going to read a couple super chats and we'll get to Ahsoka. Everybody okay? Checking in?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just
great.
I'm impressed.
Thinking about Ahsoka.
And the brain drain that came with
Chrissy, where's your axe and your saw?
My axe.
Your axe and your saw, because you're a lumberjack.
You know, I left it with my lesbian lover outside.
He didn't take it out of the U-Haul yet.
He had to run to Lowe's and pick up some scissors for us for later.
Okay, can you hear me now? Apparently, I had the wrong thing on my mic. I was like, Gary's just talking over me when I'm talking. And
yeah, we can hear you.
And then you went, is everyone okay?
That's
and I'm
just
like,
the show.
I was just wanting to say, I was like either. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say though, the comic book industry and the film industry, they suffer from the same thing, and it is ideology, but I don't think it's fake, because it's your values that guide all of your decisions throughout the world. So there are some people who will use it for personal gain, but others are like true believers. And Gail, Simone, like her, well, and Hollywood at the same time, they don't see people as individual, they see them as a collective. And if you don't see people as individuals, you see them as everyone is equal, and that means everyone is replaceable. You can pick up a person, replace them with someone else, and they'll do the exact same job, the exact same quality. And that's how she's like, well, there's a tentpole here, but I can just bring anyone into that, and they'll just replace the tentpole, and so I can replace them with the people I want, rather than the original people. And that's how you come down to fridging. You get back to women are used to motivate men. It's like, no, that woman was. She did have a story, but her story was before the film began. There was an entire love story in history that he will probably tell through that movie, but without that history and without her story, he wouldn't have a reason to exist in the first place. But you will also have other women, and this is why you can't group everyone together, because other women will have stories in other shows and they'll do other things. But if you see everyone as the same thing, then killing one woman, it would be the same as killing all women, and your entire perspective changes on it because you've zoomed out a lot. So I think ideology is important, and I actually don't think they can correct any of their stories until they do, because they have a different value system than their audience, and the audience finds that repulsive.
And that's
the
why
Green Arrow, the Green Lantern thing, because she's talking about Kyle Rayner's Green Lantern, by the way.
Yes.
And it was his girlfriend that was fridged. But in the very short time, because I think she was killed in the possibly the 5th issue of Kyle Rayner, which was about Green Arrow 55, Green Lantern 55-ish by Major Force. And even in those 5 issues of introducing Kyle Rayner, they had already put him in a bit of a, not love triangle, but a situation where he's with this girl and he really likes this girl. There's also another girl in the apartment who sort of has his eye, curiosity, and then she comes over because he's an artist. She comes over to the apartment and she strips for him to draw her nude, and his girlfriend walks in, and that causes a little bit of tension between the two. So he's trying to think, where's my head really at? Is it just, am I sort of worried that I'm getting too close to this girl, my girl, and therefore I'm sort of pushing away a little bit and looking around, or what? And he's sort of got these sort of ideas in his head. And by the time he's sort of, maybe I just want to be with her, she's fucking been killed and fridged by Major Force. So she actually had a point. There was a reason for her to be there, and for that to affect Kyle going forward.
But that's
and the story's called Green Lantern.
Yeah, it is,
and not girl. That is his girlfriend.
Green Lantern's girlfriend. To Disparu's point, that's why people tune into us and have tuned out the media. And I mean us, everybody here. They're reading your chat. Is because we'll say what they refuse to say because of their dogmatic adherence to this ideology, which, there's a bunch of navel gazing going on with Hollywood. It's been going on in the comic book industry, and you will never fucking hear them bring it up. Maybe our ideology, maybe us going too hard on politics, maybe us telling the customers to fuck off wasn't a good thing. That's the one thing they'll never fucking acknowledge, ever, till their dying fucking day. And that is the main reason their industry is falling apart. It's the main reason Hollywood is falling apart. It's a foundation in sand. You can't get over your
their
own
dying breath is going to be, where did we go wrong?
You can't get over your own fucking narcissism.
Yes,
well, you can tell the difference in attitudes. I've been rewatching Star Trek Next Generation for the last few weeks. But quite often, they will come to a planet and they'll be like, we actually think this is wrong. We think something they are doing is abominable. And someone else will come along and they'll give the other reasons, or they'll have the planet do them. And they go, but we can't touch it because it's their thing. Right. And so we're just going to leave them be. And that wouldn't have been written unless that was the value system of the people that were making it at the time, that they thought that was right. And you would never have that now. Now they'd come in, that they'd just take over the planet. We've got to stop you doing this because we are the correct ones in this situation.
It's
called an inquisition.
It's righteousness, and it's wrong. There's a great reason why the Prime Directive is in Star Trek, because it really adds to the debate. It adds to the conversation, because there are some times where they break the Prime Directive because even they believe we just can't allow this to happen. Wesley Crusher being killed as an example because of a very simple rule. However, to the Edo, to the Edo, that's one of their fundamental rules. And so even though they save Wesley at the end, they're told, that's it. You can never come back here. You are never welcome here. You can never come back. And that is a relationship with a race that is irreversibly destroyed. Because if they come back, that caretaker is going to just fucking blow them out of the sky. So
they should have traded Wesley.
First contact.
Good point.
Yeah, they should have. First contact. Bad trade. First contact. The episode, not the film. The episode First Contact, which actually deals with conservatism versus progressiveness, and it actually lays them out. Both the arguments very well indeed. It lays out why progressive ideas can be great and can push things forward. But it also lays out why conservative ideas are actually really good, because sometimes the society can go too quickly and not understand what it's necessarily getting into because it's just too keen and eager. And so you had the great debate with that, which led actually to the world deciding to go with the more conservative approach, to just let things develop a little bit more slowly, and maybe in the future, maybe in 80 years time, 50 years time, come back and let's see where we are. But it also allowed somebody from that planet to say, I'm ready to take the step into space.
But what that episode didn't foresee is, kids chopping their dicks off. So, I mean, There's
that's
going
in the
a little
next
too
series.
far. It still came at it with the progressivism is something that just some people need more time to get to, but it still leaned as it being right. When you know what? They need to both exist to counterbalance each other. I mean, that's the whole point.
There has to be a balance. Yeah,
there has to be a balance. All right.
The issue is, as well, when you get to like those moral perspectives, it's like you can give justifications, but Hollywood at the moment is taking a position. And so now I feel like I'm getting preached to by the villain. They're pushing evil on me. And so I'm like, no, get away. I just want to see you get what you deserve. That's the only thing I want. And villains used to get the most horrific death possible. Whereas in Secret Invasion, he's like ranting at the guy at the end. I'm like, no, I just want you to fight and die. That's the only thing I want at this point. I don't want to be told why you're the good guy. And that I felt a bit like that in Loki. These people have been slaughtering people, an infinite amount of people, and now they're just like, yeah, we've decided not to anymore. It's like, I don't like it.
It feels like the lines
to be
of
fair,
good
they were
versus
kept in the
evil have
dark about
become
everything.
blurred.
What, Chrissy?
Yeah.
It feels like we used to be clear lines of good versus evil. That seems a bit muddied now.
No, well, that's
even the Wish trailer that just came out. To me, the villain seems like the good guy.
Yeah,
like the villain
That's
in that
Robin
Wish.
Hood.
It's like not everybody can have everything they want.
He has the power to grant all the wishes, and he's like, but not all of them will be granted. She's like, why? Doesn't everyone deserve to have their wish? And he's like he's really mean about it. He's like, no, only one can have the power to do this. But think about Bruce Almighty. It's almost the same thing. All these prayers getting answered just by a push button. No, you can't just give everybody what they wish for. One, it might not be good for them. One, it might not be good for everybody else.
Yeah.
And if you just give that to everybody, they might never grow as a person or whatever.
Yep.
Or
like
wish for more
to me,
wishes.
What's that?
Or wish for more wishes.
Well, yeah, that is
That
true.
invalidates a wish, by the way.
Yeah. We also see this with the Acolyte, where we saw, there's no good or evil in Star Wars. It's just sides. It's like, how do you
very
get the
patriarchal.
Empire?
Postmodernism, nihilism. It's fucking shit. It degrades a society. But I think that's the point. That's what they want. They want to blur the lines between good and evil or right and wrong. And now, we're grooming kids in school. So,
well, if every idea is equal to every other idea and every person's equal to every other person, then there is no good and evil. You just, I choose this, and I'm going to force it on you. It's like, no, there is a hierarchy.
If everyone's super, no one will be.
When's the day when a kid just goes, I identify as a meth addict? Okay, you can't. You should provide me meth because that's my identity now. We should just do it. Why not?
But wasn't there that
go to the
women's
government.
conference the other
Yes.
day? The women's conference, and some guys just like, fuck it, we're non-binary.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
so they
greatest
came in.
own ever. Yeah.
That was beautiful, and I hope they start doing that all the time now.
Yeah, do that more.
Logan on the Streamlabs side for $50. He says, "Hey, Dad. Hail Friday Night Tights." He's just over in this room, like he's. Yeah, well, that's weird. I'm happy to report at long last I am totally out of debt. Well, that's good, son. It took years, but I worked hard and only have $40 in the bank. But I'm happy to report that I'm out of the red and into shit. Shit. Shit.
He spent $40.
I get it now. I get it now.
It's a math joke. It was for extra, girl.
Sandy Q has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. Lord J has gifted 20 Nerdrotic memberships for $100.
Wow.
I gotta restart. I wish they would just restart automatically. Press Tiled has gifted 50 Nerdrotic memberships for $250.
Damn.
That's a lot of happy members.
Damn.
A Robin Hood move right there.
Hey, some of you will be able to watch a preview of my One Piece review, which is available for the members now. 3 minutes of it. Perry's working.
It stops abruptly, and I want to watch the rest of it, man. It's so good. It just ends.
It just
Abruptly.
Abruptly.
That's like a new form of ebonics. Abruptly.
It's like abrupt. It's like
abruptly.
rough. It's like rough and abruptly.
Abruptly.
Yo, that shit had abruptly. Like,
Anything to do
Abruptly.
with broccoli? Broccoli?
The Arc Spartan has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. And Ian So Forth for 50 British pounds says, I want a movie ending where King shakes his fist and shouts, Oh, Kang shakes his fist and shouts, "I'll get you next time, Avengers!" That they honestly need that. Okay,
That was basically Thrawn through for seasons 3 and 4 of Rebels, which is why he's a shitty villain.
I forgot
now.
who said it. Somebody was saying it on Twitter or a live stream, but they're like, Thrawn would have seen Hiroshima and Nagasaki from Japan's perspective as a victory.
It's acceptable losses.
He was like,
Those are
yes,
acceptable losses.
acceptable.
We lost 2 cities.
When when he radios them in the back as he's running away from them, going, "I'm the victor," and he's just legging it as fast as possible.
I'm winning.
Now, it is like, it is true. I guess we get into Ahsoka now. It is true that Thrawn did accomplish his objective, right? He got all this stuff loaded. He got his fucking Night Sister bitches, and he's off into another galaxy to go to Dathomir. Does what he wants to do. But the problem is, by like labeling it a victory and say he achieved all his accomplishments, it was the dumbest possible way he could have done any of it, at least in this final episode, especially. We're like only sending the 2 TIE fighters after the Jedi shuttle.
Send 2 fighters after the 3 Jedi.
Ryan, do you know, this is serious, by the way, do you know what the supplies are? And are they actually important for future stuff? Or is it literally just a MacGuffin to waste time?
You mean the supplies, what they're loading?
It's
I believe it's dead bodies, whether it's either old Night Sisters or troops or something that they're going to reanimate on Dathomir. And this is going to be his. This is going to be his
army.
Well, so to be fair, they're pulling so much of this from the expanded universe. Remember, in the Thrawn trilogy in the 90s, Thrawn used clones as a very quick way in order to man up his ships, because they're like, even if he gets these ships, he doesn't have the crew to man it, but that he's able to man it through those clones. Maybe that's what he does, just like troops that he can use, or he might have an army of Night Sisters on his hands. Who fucking knows?
They want it to reflect current times, so it's fentanyl.
Yes.
Yeah, but they didn't. I don't know if they ever specified that. That's just what based off what it looks like. They're in catacombs, you know.
Are Night Sisters just black women?
No, they're actually white.
Kind of.
Well,
they spit rhymes too.
Back to the whole TIE fighter thing.
Ashy.
They're a little ashy.
They are a little ashy.
Gotta get some of that cocoa butter.
That scene where Sabine takes out the fighters was so stupid because those TIE fighters are supposed to be one of the most agile ships out there. And all the pilots that was like, "Oh no!" It's like they just
drive straight.
And to be fair, TIE fighters aren't as maneuverable in the atmosphere because when you actually have atmosphere, those big fucking wings, they're kind of tough with drag side to side.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you certainly could have done more than just continue to drive lazily in the same direction, with only about 10 meters apart from each other.
Yeah.
They had 7 seconds to react.
And it should have done a lot more damage.
We're going to get killed formation. Roger.
Rat Child UK says Night Sisters.
Night Sisters.
Night Sisters.
Night Sister. Night Sister.
Night Sisterhood.
So they're going to be armed with knives then?
They're witches.
No, actually, they're going to be armed with iPhones that don't work.
iPhone 5s.
Oh, the iPhone 15 then.
They got you got preloaded minutes on them.
Obama phones.
Oh no, I mean like the ones you take from the store that are disengaged.
Oh,
display phones.
Stole them.
Yeah, there you go.
They've got a chain still connected. That's how they whip it around.
So as predicted by, I think, many of us, that so the end was just Thrawn getting away and it was trading places. So essentially, Ahsoka was about boring women in space getting lost. That's it.
And every single solitary person, good or bad, that now dies in the show is blood on Sabine's hands.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That they never had that conversation about. That is
exactly
that's the thing. There's no
consequences.
It just seems like such basic level, cartoonish level shit that happens because even if I don't like the rest of the things that happen in the show, even if I have disagreements, at least you got to show Sabine and Ezra dealing with his elation at seeing Sabine, but having to understand what the cost was and how she fucked up and how he feels about the decision she made and her taking some accountability and feeling some guilt and all this shit. But there's just none of that because this entire show is just so surface level.
It's all smirks.
Even her reasoning, right? I could have understood you, like, I would have disagreed with you. I'd still think you're evil, but at least there's a point of, I betrayed this entire galaxy because I'm madly in love with this guy, and that is driving me forwards, and I will sacrifice anything to be with him, but then she just doesn't go with him at the end. I'm like, why did you betray an entire galaxy just to go, I don't care if he survives anymore, I want to go with Ahsoka.
Penis, that's why.
But as soon as she met him, though, as soon as she fucking met him, she betrayed everything to go get Ezra, and then Ezra comes out looking like a fucking space junkie, and she's just like, "You right?
What's up?"
Right?
Yeah, they have no chemistry.
Zilch, nothing.
I actually do think the Ezra actor is pretty decent at portraying Ezra, at least from bringing Ezra from Rebels to the live action, but they don't have any fucking chemistry. She doesn't have chemistry with anybody, really.
No.
The Sabine actress.
Not with not with Rosario Dawson, for
Not
sure.
even the horse dog thing she's on.
Yeah, the horse dog. The fucking wolf was the most compelling
Smart.
dialogue she had in the entire thing.
You coward! As she shouts at the dog.
Well, Ezra shows up and then he's just emasculated the entire time. He
yeah.
does nothing but, I don't want the sword, it's your sword now. I'm gonna ride bitch on this thing. Please help me Jedi jump. Like, he didn't do
Can we
anything.
talk about that? She just learned the Force like 2 minutes earlier.
She could push it. She pushes him like 30
I have
yards.
an explanation for it. She saved up all of her experience points. She acquired Force sensitivity and then blew all of her points into Force abilities. That's how it happened.
I put the explanation in
She took
my
it
video.
all out of charisma.
If you had to see my video, the explanation is in there. All right.
Go watch it.
He farted the second way up, so
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if it was her farting or him farting. One of them were definitely.
So that scene, that technique is direct from Rebels. This whole Force jump thing that Kanan and Ezra kind of developed, and even Kanan and Maul do it. It looks cringe and dumb in live action the way they did it. It looks really fucking stupid. I think there could have been better ways for them to do it. That is directly from the animation, but with Sabine having literally just been able to move something for the first time, and we get it, size matters right? We understand that.
I don't recall Sabine helping him Force jump in the Rebels because she didn't have the Force.
No, I'm talking about Kanan and Ezra.
Oh,
Kanan and Ezra did that in Rebels.
Okay,
that's why she knew to do that, because Kanan and Ezra developed that
when
technique.
It should have been the other way around. He should have been helping her up. Because he's a Jedi, and she just learned the Force 2 minutes earlier.
We think about Empire Strikes Back.
This is what I'll say. So what happens, the technique is you do that, and then the other person jumps, and the other person does a lot of work to lift them the rest of the way up when they're already up there. That's how the technique works.
Yep.
So maybe you could argue that Ezra would have an easier time jumping, and she wouldn't have to do as much work if she were to do it first, because he would have to do a lot of work pulling her all that way. But
the only Force ability she's used so far is Force pull. She hasn't even used Force push, and so we don't even know she can do that.
I know.
The fact that she can do that still pisses me off, because, like, think about it. Empire Strikes Back, Luke can barely pull his lightsaber to him, and it's fucking a foot away, and then he gets it. And then later on, he can't even lift his X-Wing all the way out. Size matters not, right? But still, he's the son of the chosen one, Anakin Skywalker, and he can't lift this because he's got other things on his mind and whatnot. But she can.
He doesn't have ovaries. He doesn't have ovaries.
He
doesn't have ovaries.
The premise would be
that's where all the midichlorians are.
She believed she could do it, so then she could. That's would be the explanation. The
believe
entire
the line
idea
is-
that she has Force abilities is stupid and dumb. It's a needless
It was
pointless.
in Rebels. She was not Force sensitive.
But it's
Everyone is now.
needing multiple Force users to do things. Like when the stabilizers went on the on her shuttle, she should have just been the one holding it up like that. There shouldn't have been any necessity for Ezra to do that. When they're trying to open the door should have just been open. Why was the door a struggle? It was a fucking stone door.
For Ahsoka.
Why as the non-Force user to try and use the Force? You're
Ahsoka
fucking there in front of everyone. Just fucking open the thing.
Hey, and the master strategist Thrawn wants to have a defensive position behind the door when you could have put, especially when you knew you were going to raise your stormtroopers from the dead, you try to keep them from getting into the building. You leave some people back.
Shut all the fucking doors.
There's 3 of them.
I have a better idea.
We will let them
How about
into
you
the
put your
lobby.
spaceship in space and then dock with the fucking ring.
How about
shall
you just
stop
blow
them in the lobby.
fucking thing up because you don't need it anymore?
Why didn't you raise your stormtroopers from the dead 2 episodes earlier? That would have really come
Why
in
didn't you
handy.
leave? Why didn't you just leave?
So the whole thing about the stormtroopers being able to raise from the dead, it does call into question. He's like, well, we've had casualties and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, clearly, if you're able to raise them from the dead like this, you at least had some way to replenish your fucking people. Like,
well,
it's clear and obvious. And then you had those 2 dark troopers that were already zombified.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've
I
done
think
it
that's what
before.
he means by his casualties. I think they've died, but I think they have been. I mean, you yourself.
So why do you
said-
have volunteers? So
Yes.
why were you asking for
Yeah,
volunteers?
exactly.
Why is
I know,
Grand Admiral Thrawn asking for volunteers? If you're going to order these people to your death, they're going to go do it anyway, to be honest.
You,
'Cause that's
you
what
send
they
the
are.
zombies. That's what you do. Or maybe you just shut all the fucking doors.
And leave.
But,
And
but
you
the whole
leave.
Sabine Force thing, wouldn't it have been, let me just throw it out there, wouldn't this have been wild and very empowering for a strong female character? If the discussion had been between Ahsoka and Sabine, like, Sabine, you don't need to be a Jedi. I don't need you to be a Jedi. I just need you to be you. Like, you're skilled, you're smart, you're incredibly adept at this and that. You don't need to use the Force to be you or to be helpful. And that could have just been her arc. And if you want to have her fucking pull that lightsaber out every once in a while, do some stuff, okay, that's fine. You know, a Mandalorian, we just saw Din Djarin doing that with the Darksaber, okay, but she doesn't need to have the Force. And it's a pointless fucking retcon. Just have another girl boss Force user. That's what it is. There's no reason it doesn't help her story.
They just
To go with that,
they just
Ryan.
did Secret Invasion all over again. It's fucking Gaia all over again. She's a super scroll. She's a Mandalorian with Beskar armor, great
She's
fighting
got
skills.
guns.
Now it's
Beskar armor's
she's got
Jedi,
lightsabers and guns and shit blasts out of her vagina. It's fucking awesome.
Going to Ryan's point, though, the conclusion to me of that story would be actually her returning Ezra's lightsaber.
Exactly. I was thinking
I
the
don't need
exact same
this.
thing.
It should be.
I
I
don't
don't
need
need this
this.
anymore. Yes, I don't need this anymore. This is yours. I'm a Mandalorian. That's who I am.
Or when she becomes a Jedi, she builds her own lightsaber, which is what you're supposed to
she'll have
fucking
to do
do.
probably.
she's gonna
have to
build
do
a
eventually, yeah.
vibrator. That's what she's gonna build.
Yeah,
Well,
why
it's-
couldn't she just like force Kegel the lightsaber like whoosh, into her?
Yeah.
Hold a third one, yeah.
She
And
could
then
have 2
she's
guns up here.
hands-free. And then she's hands free and she can lightsaber with.
To the windmill.
I don't need no
It'd be like whatever that One
That's
Piece
the
guy is
Force
that holds
is
it in his
female.
mouth.
Yeah.
Yep. Zorro.
Go ahead, Disparu.
My favorite part of the episode was when they're all deflecting the blaster bolts and she's trying and she's getting hit by everything, and then Ahsoka turns around and can you just use
Blasters.
your blasters?
Yeah, and that's
please
what-
just stop.
Doing that.
that's actually fine. Like
Yes.
that is actually good. And I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna go to what I said, right? And
Yep,
be like,
yep.
we don't need you to use the Force. You don't need to do this. We just need you to be you and use your skills.
Exactly.
Like, wouldn't that have been empowering?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, play
all
to your
my
strengths.
all my woke women out there, wouldn't that have been empowering for you to see out on screen? I don't know. But instead,
And
we
then
gotta make you
how
another
she could have
badass
saved.
Jedi.
How could she have saved Ezra, who was purposely not using the Force,
No.
so she could self-learn the Force to save herself and then save him?
Garrett, could you find the clip of Ahsoka blocking the laser blast from the where she's all
The undead ones, right in the last episode.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
and
couple
also
clips of
just in general, so zombie stormtroopers, it's stolen from one singular
Yes.
offshoot book from the expanded universe that was called Death Troopers.
Yes.
But it was
Read that book. It's a good book. That's fun.
It was basically this imperial prison that they were doing some like experiment on. Anyway,
dropped it in the
it's
chat,
an
by the
imperial
way.
prison where this disease basically runs wild, and it is a fucking disease that causes dead people to come back to life and be reanimated. Blah blah blah. It's done differently here with Night Sister magic, but when your opponents are Jedi that have lightsabers, it's pretty easy to put a stop to you. Maybe dismemberment, maybe cut off your fucking legs
Cut
so you
off
can't
your
walk
legs.
anymore. Maybe cut off your head. There's like very simple things you can use. Going against a person with a lightsaber is probably the least effective this zombie squad's going to be. Yet for some reason, nobody thought to do that.
No,
And the scary thing about zombies is getting bitten, but these people have helmets on
They
to
have
stop
helmets
them
on.
biting people. So
yeah. No, I was asking that like while I was watching it. I'm like, cut off their legs. Cut off their freaking legs. Cut off one arm. Cut off an leg. Cut off one leg.
They're not going to follow you after that, right?
Yeah,
they're going to be so slow.
roll
And then
around.
also there was like a big difference between when the zombies first were zombieing and like walking real slow, and then like 5 minutes later they were just running in perfect stormtrooper formation.
Yeah, how come they weren't like they were attacking them one at a time conveniently?
She's like, put away this. Just put it away. Put it down.
You glow stick away, you stupid cow.
It's
This
towards
light.
the end, I think, that you're looking for Gary's part.
Oh, where she does the. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yes,
This part right here. Yeah, it's like.
Oh, God, it's just so slow.
She just looks like she's kind of bored. You know.
Yeah, just kind of.
because the bit at the end when she's fighting Lozon on her
what
own.
is that?
Whoa! Whoa! Look at the blast! Look at the blasts on that. They just hit
People
her.
can
One
move
of them just
faster in
fucking
water.
hit her in the leg.
Oh my
It's
god.
like right there.
A crotch deflection.
Oh god! And then this all leads to a final battle between two middle-aged women.
Hey! Isn't that what we've always wanted? Kathleen Kennedy fighting
Try that
Kathleen
fight, though.
Kennedy. It's like two middle-aged women go for
This-
like
This duel, obviously, I saw some people talking about this duel. It was a million times better than the first duel these two had.
Yes.
Yes.
Which
Still
was
bad,
with the
though.
staff. So the actress who plays Morgan Elsbeth is, I forget whose daughter she is. She's like a skilled martial artist.
She is. Yeah.
Didn't show here.
But well, I think the problem in every single one of these duels has been Rosario.
Yeah, she has to like slow it down
so
for
slow.
her.
Well, yeah,
So
Anakin looked like fine. They had when she disarmed Dream Anakin, they had to do it in a cutaway that you don't see her hand disarm. It's
Yeah.
Like
off-
he had to go slow mo. Like
Yeah.
Anakin's fucking doing his whole thing, and then right before the final strike, he goes like this, and she dodges it. He's in super slow motion, so Rosario can keep
Yeah.
up.
But she's been showed up in every fight. Morgan was definitely the better fighter in that duel. Balin absolutely fucking annihilated her with strength.
The little
Anakin
girl was better.
Hayden Christensen just looked fantastic.
He
And
was
yes, the little version of Ahsoka in the flashbacks, she was great. She was my favorite bit of
She
the
was
whole
way better.
thing.
Ezra, when Ezra showed a couple times when they were fighting initially, some little flashes to him where he was doing slides and slash and stuff that he looked. I thought his fighting
Like
style
when he was ducking the lightsabers and his hair came on, he was like, oh, a little close.
I don't know
But yeah,
about that
like,
part, but yeah, in this episode
when he was ducking around.
when
Yeah.
he did a slide and fucking slash some people. Yeah, like Ahsoka needs to be doing more of that shit, but I don't think
except
they
when
wanted to
she's-
break a hip.
except
Well,
when
the
he
thing
was
is, makes me
except
wonder
when he-
what kind of fight training does she actually get? Because it looks like she got nothing.
No.
Well, think about Viggo Mortensen. He got cast right before the movies, and he went right into the sword fight, and he looks perfect. He has all the veracity that he needs to have, but it still looks like he's got skill. And he had like no time to train. How much time did Rosario Dawson have to train for this show?
And how much did they ask her to train? That's the question.
And I think some of
Probably
it, I mean,
not
some
at
of it
all.
too is probably like there's probably just some people that don't fucking pick it up well.
Maybe.
You
Well,
know,
then
I would
use a
have to
stunt-
imagine.
Get some stunt actors
woman.
to
Stunt
do
double.
more.
But,
You know,
They
Ezra
need to do
could
more.
have, I don't know, used the fucking force when he was fighting that death trooper at any time. He was
Force
using it
push.
earlier, but he decided not to use it. You could have pushed him right off the edge of that thing
or,
if you
or
wanted.
maybe,
have.
or maybe Force thrown Sabine's lightsaber to her to do what she
Maybe.
did at the end. You know,
Well,
what I mean?
maybe
Like,
he's back up again. But the thing is, the reason why they didn't do it, this is why intersectionality is killing writing. The reason why they didn't do it is because if Ezra had just force pushed the trooper, the dark trooper, off the edge, then he would have been perfectly free to just destroy the other dark trooper. And intersectionality demands that a man can't save a woman because that's where we are now. And so they couldn't do that. So they have to write illogically to go with their ideology, and it's blatant for all to see, and it's ruining shows. I discussed this in my Loki review. It's like there's a box of crayons, and there's lots of crayons. The crayons can be masculinity, femininity, strength, vulnerability, weakness. And what intersectionality does is it comes in and it takes a load of fucking crayons out. Just takes them out, says, right, you're left with these 3 crayons to construct the story. Like, can't draw this picture with these 3 fucking crayons. You got to, because that's what you're left with. Stoicism, lack of agency. Oh man, that's what you've got. It just, but if we have all the other crayons, we can really flesh out the picture. Nope.
Can't do it.
And you end up creating everything that looks exactly the same. It's just some kind of vague smudge that kind of resembles something, but not what it really should. And if you keep feeding people the same stuff, especially if they don't like it, then they're not going to care. And I think that's hurting other things. You've seen it with the cinema. There's some good movies that just haven't taken off because overall people are like, I just don't care anymore. I've just seen so much crash now. I'll do something else. And they get other interests, and once they go, it's really hard to bring them back.
Absolutely.
Speaking of this specific scene when Ezra jumps back up and there's the 2 stormtroopers, I want to show you this because I noticed this when I was editing because I go through it very slowly, right? So he jumps up and watch the guy on the right. Watch what he does. He just jumped. Nothing happens. He just jumps back.
Shot him in the back.
He just jumps back.
There's loads
Go
of
back a little bit
where they
again.
could get shot in the back, stabbed in the back, fucking grabbed in the back.
I think there's I think it's a really bad fucking stunt because he reaches out with his arm and hits him. So maybe they missed the force noise move. You know, like they should have added the force effect. Yeah, exactly.
He could have just blasted him back though. He could have like blasted that guy back and thrown the other one off.
Or just reshot it and have him bang into him. It looked like he was standing too far back and he had to shoulder dodge him.
Sabine needed to do the same again.
If this was a TV series that had 25 episodes every year and they were on these like insane time restraints, I'd accept that. This is a 8-episode series that cost probably $200 million. It's a joke.
The thing is, do you remember when all the turtles are running away and you've got the fake sand people coming after him and Sabine's the only one with blasters and she's missing people 10 feet away from her and then she's just made that perfect shot? Like she's improved a lot over time.
We missed the training montage of her getting back.
Yeah.
It's a montage.
Ahsoka.
There was, I do think, so the good parts of the finale, I guess, for people that cared about Rebels, they probably liked, I think Ezra getting the lightsaber that like has Kanan's piece in it and talking to Hu Yang about Kanan. I thought that was fine, but unfortunately, no one's going to have any idea why that's important, right?
Yes, nobody's going to fucking know.
No context at all provided.
Hu Yang would not have known his name that he was going by. He would know Caleb Doom, not...
Oh, he would 100% know him because he's talked to Ahsoka about her entire shit. So Hu Yang knows who Kanan is.
Fair enough.
Hu Yang knows Sabine. Like, he would know. But, yeah, so... And that's why he even mentions it. Hu Yang says, you know, back when I knew him, he was a little boy named Caleb, like, blah, blah, blah. But Hu Yang is... It's wild to me that Hu Yang is not with Luke Skywalker. Hu Yang knows everything about Jedi training. He knows everything about Jedi history. Hu Yang should be with the fucking dude who's trying to rebuild the Jedi Order, not gallivanting around with Ahsoka in a T6
He's the mechanic.
Yeah, do you see that video? The 80s opening for Ahsoka? Hu Yang's probably the most valuable asset in the entire galaxy. And
Vast knowledge.
And he's a mechanic on his ship.
Yeah.
He's a mechanic.
Remember, Luke is the least important character in the Disney Star Wars universe.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, like, maybe... Let's just... You could just do little things to fucking add some substance to this dumbass fucking show. And it would be like maybe fucking Thrawn makes this fucking declaration of victory over Ahsoka and he's talking shit about Darth Vader because Thrawn knows who Anakin Skywalker turned into. That's in a book, by the way. But so Thrawn is aware that Anakin Skywalker turns into Darth Vader. That's why he's kind of trolling her at the end, saying that maybe it's a good thing you're here. Maybe you're more like him than you think. Maybe Ahsoka could clap back. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but the galaxy you're about to go to is protected by his son, Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And like and like a moment where the fucking audience is like, yeah, you're about to get fucked, bitch. And Thrawn like looks surprised and then they jump to hyperspace.
Yeah.
He's about to get fucked. You mean when Ezra at the end said, Ezra, and he went, don't worry about me. I know exactly where Thrawn is. The coordinates are in my ship. He's only got one. Let's quickly warp the fleet there and fucking blow him up. No.
Well, I can already tell you what's going to happen as. Yes, that should happen. One, how did he fucking get off the Chimera and nobody registered anything? These sensors really don't seem to pick up ships when they're there. And how did he know how to get to the fleet? Why, if he clearly communicated that he was friendly and got escorted in by A-Wings, why did he not identify himself? Why did he not take his fucking storm? A lot of dumb questions just for a stupid moment. But he should be like, hey, I know where Thrawn's at. He's at Dathomir. He's about to fucking reanimate all those people. We got to go. You know what's going to happen? Hera's going to go in front of that fucking Senate committee. There's going to be that one douchebag who's like, wait, you really believe this? This is kind of dumb. And Mon Mothma's not going to do anything. Admiral Akbar is not going to do anything. C-3PO is not going to do anything. And they're just going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs while Thrawn reanimates all these people, gets access to another fleet. And by the time they react, it's too late because bureaucracy bad. That's what the thing is going to be. I guarantee it.
I really thought they were going to spin that guy as like working for Thrawn and he was one of the traitors for it and stuff. And nothing happened with it.
He's just a dumb male. That's what he is.
Yeah.
To be honest, not like we didn't get any answers to basically fucking anything in this series. This entire thing. I said it before we started. It felt like a mid-season finale where you have some stuff that happens at a big event, but you feel like your bad guys are kind of got away with something and you're left with more questions than answers. That's how this felt. And I don't even know if the next part of whatever story this is even going to be called Ahsoka Season 2. I don't know if this show needed to be called Ahsoka at all. So.
No,
because this is a lead into the Filoni movie, right?
I
guess.
the main show anyway. For a start, it wasn't even an Ahsoka show. Ahsoka didn't have a single fucking. What was Ahsoka's arc? There wasn't one.
She went for a swim.
It wasn't.
What was
she went from gray to white? That's an arc.
That's an arc. That's an arc to Disney Star Wars fans.
Is it season 2 or is it the movie?
Well, so the movie's years and years out, but there's going to be obviously Mando season 4.
Yeah.
What I think the movie is going to be is an Avengers type team up to stop Thrawn.
Yep.
Right.
So
I agree.
Like I do think you need to tell another part of this story involving Ahsoka and Sabine coming back. Go ahead.
Do you recast Luke? Because Luke's got to be in it. He can't not be in it.
What I think they'll do is
de-age Mark Hamill for an entire movie.
My prediction is one, they won't be an entire movie. My prediction is that we will see the big three on screen at some point into this Heir to the Empire Bastardized remake, but they won't be the main characters. They will have a role to play at some point in taking down Thrawn. And there's going to be a lot of people that say, this is what you always asked for. Dave Filoni just gave you everything you wanted. Why aren't you happy?
No, that's actually been brought up. Somebody brought up I think Jeremy brought it up. You just want a scene with Han, Luke, and Leia. And every time I bring up that argument, that's bare minimum. I'm pointing out the bare minimum that Lucasfilm did not do. What we wanted to see was Luke fucking bringing down mountains and Star Destroyers and being peak fucking Jedi, kicking ass, flipping around, fighting some dark Jedi or dark Sith and fucking beating the shit out of them at full power. That's what we wanted to see. And we never got. And we never will get now, unless it's some recast Luke when they eventually remake everything.
I think they should recast all three of them personally.
I agree. At this point,
I think that they're really limited by the CGI bullshit they're trying to do. And to be honest, the guy who played him in Book of Boba Fett looks a lot like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like he looks a shit ton like him. And I don't know if you bring Alden Ehrenreich back as Han Solo or you move off that. But at some point, you got to do that. If you're going to stick to telling stories in this era, you can't keep ignoring the elephants in the room.
Yeah.
And the elephant in the room right now should be that, you supposedly think you have this big giant threat. There's, they say false Jedi, I think, instead of dark Jedi, but you have false Jedi running around, taking over all these ships. And yet we've not heard the name Luke Skywalker uttered by any of these fucking characters.
What a joke.
Because they're trying to get rid of them.
What I could see is Ezra teaming up with Luke at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe that happens.
Well, Ezra's got to die because he's not in the Disney trilogy. And this is all moving towards the Disney trilogy. Yeah. Last time I checked, let me check my notes. They didn't erase it.
Yeah. Well, and I think personally, what they're doing with Heirs of the Empire, they're not going to have Han, Luke, and Leia. I think they're going to have Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra, and then maybe Mando. I think that's what they're going with. They're not going to have any.
And
There might be
Bo-Katan.
references to them, but they're not going to have them in there.
No, I think you will.
Bo-Katan, yeah.
I think we will see them, but I think it'll be like more as cameos or like 5 minutes of content.
Yeah.
Versus them being the lead roles in that movie.
So does this get released in theaters, or is it a movie that'll be released on Disney Plus?
Let's be real. Even right now, that's slated for 2027. There's a lot to happen before that. Mando season 4 has not been filmed yet. That needs to happen. You have to have another. Bo-Katan, I'm sure, should be a big part of Mando season 4.
No, she is the Mandalorian.
She
now.
is Mando now.
Yeah,
she is.
And then whatever the next part of this story is, whether you call that Ezra, whether you call that Thrawn, whether you call it Ahsoka season 2, I don't fucking know.
They'll
what
call it somebody's name for sure. I agree with you there. They won't give it a title. Hey, there's the acolyte
name.
Yeah, the acolyte's coming. Can't wait for that.
Skeleton Crew is also coming, which
Skeleton
is
Crew?
in the Mandoverse timeline, which nobody cares about, but that is coming out.
So because of the strike,
Andor
everything's getting delayed minimum a year. Like Mando season 4 is getting delayed a year. Because they haven't really even started production on it, and they got to ramp up with that. Then there's scheduling conflicts.
They haven't even got a fucking story for it.
They don't have a story for anything.
I think they do have Mando season 4 actually.
They have it written.
Favreau had the outline written.
Yeah, he had the outline written, but they haven't. Because
they knew specifically about the writer's strike coming up. That's why he said he did it.
Yes, but the Film Actors Guild strike is going a bit longer than a lot of people are thought. They thought it'd be like pretty much done by now, and it's looking like minimum 2 weeks, could be longer. There's some sticking point. I don't know what it is. And then you have to deal with scheduling conflicts because everything got delayed. So everything minimum gets pushed out a year. So yeah, you're looking at that for that movie 2027, 2028, dude. This is a cinematic franchise. It's supposed to be special. God, it's so sad what they have done. But
we're 10 years in, more than 10 years in to Disney owning it. And this is where we are now. It's a tiny show on a fucking streaming service that nobody cares about and nobody watched. This is Star Wars now. Could you imagine if it was still people that knew how to make Star Wars and was making great Star Wars? Like the character of Balin, Ray Stevenson, R.I.P., his presence was so good with a nothing character that did nothing and ended up nowhere. Imagine if he was in a good Star Wars movie. Imagine
going back to the late 90s to your younger self and you say, hey, George Lucas is going to sell Star Wars to Disney. And they're going to get Han, Luke, and Leia back. And 10 years later, everybody's going to fucking hate Star Wars.
That's where we are, man. The darkest timeline. Fuck.
The hyping up of all these Disney Plus shows, and that's on the studios. They're the ones that are doing it for both Marvel and Star Wars. For them all to just be very pedestrian stories, at the best, but also end up not really moving anything forward, has really damaged everyone's excitement for this stuff. Star Wars, for its first 38 years of existence, had 6 movies. In fucking 4 decades, you had 6 movies. It was special. It was exciting, which is why you saw the reaction to Force Awakens.
We don't tune into TV to watch people move chess pieces around.
Yeah.
We watch TV to see fucking things happen
and characters
develop.
Not even move around chess pieces. Set up the fucking board.
Set up the board. Yeah, that's probably a better. Yeah, that's a better analogy. Set up the fucking board.
Set up the board, and then
reset up the board.
Then your toddler comes by and knocks all over the fucking pieces. You gotta set them up again.
That's the thing. You set up the board, but then in the movie, you're like, well, people haven't seen the TV series, so we're going to have to explain this anyway. And that's why you can't move people forward.
It's ultimately pointless.
Yeah, what's that piece there? Well, if you saw me set up,
yeah,
you would have seen me. If you saw it.
Ahsoka's worse. It's they set up all the pieces on a table with no board.
They said, no. They said,
continue the game.
They were continuing a game from 5 years ago that you played in another fucking house. And then they didn't.
But the thing is, if you remove Ahsoka from Ahsoka, nothing changes.
No,
Because
nothing does changes.
you had all these events that needed to happen, so your hero couldn't influence any of them because Ezra always, not Ezra, Thrawn always had to come back. And so you make her story pointless, and she basically just exists to watch all of these events happen without interfering with any of them.
And it's the reason why in season 2, it's just going to be about her returning to the universe. And it's going to be another series about nothing.
But Disparu, how can you get rid of that unbelievably great line that Ahsoka said at the end of this episode, which was, "You're where you need to be, Sabine."
I love how I love that was
me.
that was preceded by the line, one of the many meta lines from the series. I felt nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
Well, my favorite,
Ryan was going to say, sorry. Ryan's got to go.
What I was going to say was that Ahsoka, the only reason she exists is so they can use Anakin. That is why she exists in this series. That is why she's going to continue to exist. That is why whatever they're going to do with the Mortis gods, which you didn't watch fucking Clone Wars or Rebels, you probably don't know what the fuck it was at the end of this thing, but whatever they're trying to set up, whether there is still some power, whether they're looking for people to fill the roles of the father, the son, the daughter, all this shit, that's the reason Ahsoka exists now. That's also the reason we have yet to see. Somebody said this the other day, and it was right. The reason that the scene that people wanted to see in Book of Boba Fett, when you realize that Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker were like having this interaction. I think Ahsoka should have died a long time ago. So did a lot of other people. But for the people that love her and love the fact that she's around still, they wanted to see Ahsoka and Luke Skywalker speak. Right, the two people who have have so much care for Anakin Skywalker. And not only for Luke to hear about who his father was in the Clone Wars and all this shit, but also for Luke to reveal to Ahsoka that at the end he turned, that at the end he was the hero, that at the end he killed Palpatine. He did it. He restored balance. He was the chosen one. He fulfilled the prophecy. And he loved me enough that he turned back. That would be such an awesome story for Luke Skywalker to tell to Ahsoka.
Right.
But when we see them meet for the first time, we don't hear that, do we?
No.
Well, you know why we don't hear that? Because we had to make sure that Ahsoka has unresolved issues with Anakin, so we can force this Anakin storyline down your throats, even though it has no fucking impact on this story whatsoever. And that has always been my problem with Ahsoka Tano, the character. She was never this important. She never should have fucking lived. She shouldn't be alive. They only pretend like you should care about her by using Anakin.
Right. And they've been trying since the beginning to bring Darth Vader and Anakin back. And that's what they were wanting to do with The Force Awakens. But they found another way of doing it, which is through Ahsoka, which is basically what you just said.
They hinted at that, and they can't. His story's over. Yes, he's one of the greatest villains of all time in cinema. And you can't bring him back unless you remake it.
Well, as we're finding out with Loki, they find other ways of taking people that died and bringing them back, which is Force Ghost Anakin.
If they fucking multiverse Star Wars, I wouldn't put it past them. That would be the lamest thing ever. That is pretty fucking lame. That is pretty fucking lame.
I wouldn't
be surprised.
Anything past Disney right now.
No.
There is no love. There is no, but more probably worse, there's no care with this anymore with this franchise. It's gone. It's just a mess.
I could see Dave Filoni writing the fucking title of an episode, Dr. Aphra, Multiverse of Sadness.
Yes.
and then like ripping off like the multiverse Marvel stuff and pretending like it's an homage, and all these fucking people clap for it.
Oh my God. When you hear the cope with that, what? You can't put statues in a show now? You're just ripping off Tolkien? It's like a fucking that is.
What? Like
my favorite is go make your own.
He's not just ripping off Tolkien.
Destroyed though.
He's not just ripping off Tolkien, because the World Between Worlds is in Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe. It's
the Wood Between Worlds in
right,
Narnia,
and that's why he ripped off the name in this episode.
Between Worlds before.
It's all ripoffs.
So it is, and it's like very blatant.
Yes.
And the title, The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord, was like so cringe when I saw that in the beginning. The problem, I don't have a problem with the statues. We've seen statues before and shit. Obviously, probably a
that
lot
wasn't
of
just statues. That was the
I know you had
Argonaut.
almost Mordor and Mordor in the back. My bigger problem with that scene is not that he ripped off Lord of the Rings. My bigger problem with the scene is that nobody has any fucking idea who's watching this who the father and the son and the daughter are.
Dude.
That's my biggest problem with it.
Ray Stevenson is in your show, and you don't give him a single fucking line of dialogue in the finale. Really?
I will. It's frustrating. It's stupid that him and Shin did nothing this episode other than show up at the end.
off.
But I will say, who knows if they may have changed something with the way things ended with Ray Stevenson. If there was more, who knows? If they were going to do something that had more interactions, there was more him and being involved.
You're going to
with
have
something.
to recast him anyway. I mean, it sucks that he's dead. I don't want him to be dead, but he's dead. You got to recast the same with fucking Black Panther. You got to recast him.
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they meant for there to be some more. At least I could see a situation where that happened.
I'd also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't write any dialogue for him.
Agreed. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I just want to throw that out.
Yeah, I got you. God, it's.
I have a question. If how do the feminists sort of reconcile the fact that Anakin, like you guys said, is being brought back only, I don't know, maybe for nostalgic purposes or just so they can pull people in? Like, that's why she still has issues with
I think they're smart enough to realize it.
But it doesn't technically pass the Bechdel test. It's all about this man.
He has no agency.
Yeah, he's not.
He's a ghost. He's a ghost now. And the time that we saw him before, he was showing flashbacks to the Clone Wars, which is key jangling, so that I were okay with that. And then when he was fighting Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds, she disarmed him. So she is better than the Chosen One.
I want to see a story. Well, that was training. She was training, and he wanted to lose to her so she could make the decision he didn't make and not cut her down
in her own imagination.
Obviously. That's like the story for that. But
yeah, that's the story that other people wrote because Filoni didn't
say it.
Correct.
Yeah,
because Filoni
that's what the smirk at the end of the show
doesn't
meant.
explain anything. He never
very ambiguous.
This is an 8
like his
series
sexuality.
series, 8 episode series. Probably the first episode should have just been Rebels. Should have been Kanan. Should have been Hera. Should have been Zev. Should have been Chopper. Should have been Ahsoka. Should have been Sabine. Should have been Ezra.
Dude, they should have done a 15-minute montage of live action Rebels ending with the end of Rebels because that show aired, that finale aired in 2018.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, a long fucking time ago.
And it was on Disney XD, by the way.
Yeah.
And I've seen it once. And I have no desire to watch it again.
And I think that when you said that a couple of weeks ago, close to the premiere, I think I thought that was a great idea. I hadn't heard anybody say that before, and I think it would be a great idea to do something like that. But like so much stuff at the end of this. The owl. Does anybody even know the significance of that fucking owl?
I totally forgot.
I was like, does someone love owls? I didn't.
Yeah.
know.
So
is that Harry Potter? Has Harry Potter come to the fucking universe?
Oh, that's Morai, which is basically this spiritual companion or essence of the daughter who has been following Ahsoka around ever since the daughter gave up her life force to bring Ahsoka back to life during the Mortis arc. So we saw Morai in the World Between Worlds and shit like that. And, Ahsoka explained to Ezra, she's kind of like Morai's my protector and
spirit animal,
blah, blah, blah. Spirit animal, kind of, yes. But it's like the spiritual essence of like this connection to the daughter, one of the Mortis gods. So that's who that is. So Morai is there in Peridia. And then the next scene, we see Balon with standing on the hand of the father with the son, the dark side of the force, embodiment right next to him, with the daughter's statue broken.
Statue destroyed.
Why was that statue destroyed?
It's symbolism.
It's a dark path that he's going on. The light's gone. The light's been destroyed. It's the dark path that he's on. So
maybe Balon's on the father because he's supposed to be the balance.
Maybe.
He's daddy.
Well, it's not very important because he's not in the movies.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Didn't tell us anything, right?
It wasn't important because they didn't tell us anything. And unless you were one of the 2 million people who watched this show on Disney XD 5 or 6 fucking years ago, no one would fucking know.
I did. I completely forgot about all that shit.
I only watched half, so I knew.
No, I watched the entire thing. I
watched the first season. That was it.
Yeah, I watched all Clone Wars with the exception of the last season, and I've forgotten a lot of this shit.
Because it's
you guys need to have better memories. It's your fault.
We're doing what everybody's doing nowadays, Ryan, and we are having to write our own fucking shows. to compensate for the shit that's come out, because we're trying to write things in our heads to justify what's happening, because the show itself doesn't in any way, shape, or form explain or do a good job of actually putting something in front of us and making us understand what's trying to be said.
It's because they have no talent in Hollywood right now because of agenda, because of DEI, and also the talent that there recognizes that, and they can't say anything, so they say things quietly, but they know what's wrong. Go watch a good show. Go watch Reacher. Go watch Terminal List. Go watch Breaking Bad. Go watch Better Call Saul, and then watch this shit. It's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing.
Well, it feels like they never get past the blocking out of an episode stage. They just get to the, we need the characters in these locations, but what do we do, and what's the payoff? And they're like,
fuck it, we'll figure it out.
We'll just make the show. Okay, people will show up. It says Star Wars on it. Yeah, and it's dwindling. My friends that are usually apologists for this Disney Star Wars crap, even they are going, no, this is not a good show. These shows aren't good. These characters aren't good.
I'll give you an example of what should have happened in the show at one point. Sabine, when she was set free, and she was given the portable device with the data of where Ezra was, and she gets on the warg, and then she gets attacked by the bandits, and it's destroyed, and the wargs run off, and she defeats the bandits, and she picks it up, and she's like,
by herself.
That was the moment in the show where she should have tried to reach into the Force to get some direction of where Ezra could be. That's how you and maybe she just sort of.
And Force Ghost Anakin could have showed up.
Yeah.
No.
And been like,
use the Force.
Man, you look a little bit like
use the Force, Sabine.
Earlier on, when Sabine was fighting the apprentice, there was a moment where she was about to die. She puts her hand up, and the woman reacts as if she was slapped. I think that was when she first used the Force. But then for episodes after, she did nothing with it. And they just completely forgot about it until the end when she magically...
No,
so
she flinched. She didn't get slapped. She flinched because she thought she was just about to be hit with a
Force. She had the Force, but she didn't have the Force.
But then she said, you've got more power.
Yeah, I think that it was intended as like
power.
A tiny bit of Force. That's what I think it was. I agree, Disparu. That's how I viewed it.
I viewed it as she flinched, and she said, wait a minute, you don't have the Force, bitch.
You don't have the Force.
Yeah.
I thought she said you've got more power than you know.
I thought she
rather
said
than you've got
no power.
I mean,
you've got no power is what she said. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's because like it was so fucking pathetic.
Well, also it was one of the few times she wasn't asking a fucking question. So.
So she then followed it up by running away.
I know what the
yes.
was that? What the hell was
she
that?
throws 2 smoke bombs, and it's like, but I know where the ship is, so I know where you're going.
Just like poof. I just figured out you don't have the Force, and I got the Force. I'm gonna choke your ass, bitch, right now.
Like you're dead.
Because her job
Ryan,
is to delay them.
Hey, Ryan, time for you to go.
Oh.
Yep, I gotta get going, guys. It's meal time here at prison, so thanks for having me. I wish Ahsoka was not a complete pile of shit. I don't think it's the worst Disney Star Wars series. I think that belongs to Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but certainly wasn't any good, and certainly didn't get very good ratings.
Nope.
But all right, I'll talk to you guys next week.
Later, brother.
Bye.
Ryan Kittle. Ryan Kittle, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremy's on assignment.
Reassignment?
Reassignment. There she is. There she is. What? Shad was sick. Jeremy's on assignment. Odin gave birth to the only child.
Yes, Odin did.
In the world.
Odin gave birth to Jennifer Lawrence, the first.
Yeah. We're in the Children of Men timeline, and he gave birth to the only child. So he'll be out for 3 years. I'm not really sure.
Baby came out bald just like him.
Easy, Tiger. Easy, Tiger.
Let's get to the stoops. Roll in the Wretched for 4 parts for $100. Rolling. You know what? I didn't wear it for the show, but I was rocking. I just want to let the Legion of Memers know I was rocking your shirt today, all day today, at the gym.
Good shirt.
Yeah, it's a good shirt. Time to say goodbye to Ryan. Rumor has it He has accepted the recently vacated HR manager position at Bungie. Is it Bungie?
Bungie.
Yeah. Bungie. I hope he is working on his Hispanic, since it sounds like that they have they all speak there. That's all they speak there. I am sure your presence will be missed on FNQ. Frankie guessed that Chrissy weighed 190 pounds this week. Not sure how Frankie could have been that far off. He must. Oh, is that Frankie?
Frankie McDonald.
Oh,
yeah.
Frankie McDonald.
Oh, Frankie McDonald. I was gonna say.
Yes, that
Frankie.
everybody at Compound Media was 190 pounds. It was cute.
I love Frankie. He must have only been looking at her left tit. Love you, Chrissy. Dan Vosk accused Gary of inventing gay this week. Well, I wasn't practicing gay. I was inventing it, and Dan should thank me because now he and Adam can live their life together. Pot, meat, tea, kettle. That's right. Absolutely right. Yeah, there was a little controversy that a lot of people were getting mixed up on Twitter. I didn't say Stargate, the TV show, sucked. I said the movie sucked.
The movie. Yeah,
the movie sucks. The movie fucking sucks. TV show, not so bad. I'm getting through it. I like it. I like it. Rolling the Wretched, Part 3. Glad we have some proper Brit representation with Disparu instead of Papa New Guinea as.
It happens every time.
When he isn't around, it feels like a Canadian show directed by a black man with black bisexual lead in an urban setting based on a 14th century British legend.
The best thing is the director said that the original story is very important to me. I'm like, what?
Fuck
off. Show us.
But nobody likes Robin Hood. Nobody cares about Robin Hood, but this is really important to me.
Well, you know what? How he proved that it was very important to him? So he said, obviously, we had to keep it in the show. That's why they live at the corner of Sherwood and Forest. That was his example of the most important part of Robin Hood. The road they live on.
You know what? I love the Kevin Costner version. I think a lot of people do. We're not going to say it's a great film, but now it's a great film. Now it's a great film.
It is a great film.
I own it on 4K. I might watch it tonight. Dude, I watched that thing in the theater 4 times. I fucking loved it.
Cancel Christmas.
I fucking loved it. I don't care that you can't English accent. Who gives a shit? Our accent's better anyway. But no one would be stupid enough to do that right. Today's read 1 Chronicles. Today's read 1 Chronicles 16:11. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek pineapple pizza. Time to say hail FNQ, Fellowship, Chat, Baby Thor, and Hawaiian Pizza. Dan Vosk is always gay. So long, gay boys. Since he brought it up. Okay, so let's do quick setup. Az did a video months ago.
Quick story.
Quick story. Get some charts.
A year ago, 14 months ago.
Like a year, like a long time ago.
2022.
Holy
August
shit.
of 22. Yeah.
Man, God, time moves fast. And he responded to your video.
Yes.
So he's
with
watching
an
this
Instagram
stuff.
with an Instagram message, and he messaged to me. He messaged it to me on Instagram as well.
Okay. So Az was already in his head.
Yes.
And then, the show came out and it's terrible. Now, I think what happens is the creators of these shows take these ideas and think they're the first one to have them. Like, hey, we're going to do a race-bent Robin Hood, which I don't even know if that hasn't happened before. It might have.
It's a comic. It's a comic.
Yeah.
Robin it's a female. Yeah.
And the comic didn't sue?
Based
on the comic book? If I was the creator of that comic book, I'd sue their ass off right now. They don't understand that those of us in the nerd space have seen this over and over and over and over and over and over fucking over again in the last 10 years. So now it's just a parody at this point. And I think a lot of people were having fun with it, including putting a black Gandalf on a thumbnail. Whoever did that was good shit, man. That's like, I got to pick up my thumbnail game. Okay, here we go. Let's play it.
So my show Robin Hood is getting rating bombed. 1.6.
Do you know what it's not getting?
No,
viewers.
Why would someone do that? It's just some TV
Because
show.
your show sucks.
Well, being that Robin is actually a black woman this time, The angry nerd community is very upset. In fact, from the moment it was announced, these guys lost their minds.
He's reaching.
The moment. So this is a month ago. So this is just when we said we're releasing it. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
Hey,
baby boy.
Robin Hood remake. Looks different. Haha. Guess what? He doesn't like that it's a black woman either.
Yeah, it's cringe.
This will fail.
Boring.
It's
Hey,
awful.
common nerd,
Robin
what's
Hood
up?
Gets blacked.
Hey, can you pause it for a second?
Robin gets black.
Robin gets black.
That's a great title.
Go back and do that again.
Robin Hood gets black.
Robin Hood gets black.
I'm sure that's a porno. I'm sure that's a porno.
Oh, it definitely is.
Look at him laughing. It's so funny.
It is funny. Look at him laughing. It's so funny.
So funny.
Well, the thing that never crosses his mind is that his show might actually suck, and that's the reason
sucks.
First of all, he's got ego
review
coming out of
bombed.
every orifice. He's got no self-awareness whatsoever. He lives in a fucking universe where everyone goes, yes, yes, yes. Probably never hears a word of fucking criticism, and it's government funded because it does all the right political things. So in his eyes, he's the great fucking messiah of wokeness. And in reality, normal people look at this and they see it for what it is, just fucking shit.
I love. Okay, the pop culture crisis. Hey, love pop culture crisis. Good people over there. That is a book on a thumbnail, man.
That's a lot of text.
That's a lot of text. Hit play.
Just when we started production, they were talking about it. 1 year ago, they were at us, right? Pop culture crisis. It's a crisis that we're doing Robin Hood. What the?
That's the name of their channel. They didn't plan it in advance for you.
Okay, pop culture is in crisis because of shows like yours.
Yeah.
It's a very appropriate name of a channel.
Lazy shows, by the way. Lazy.
Because of
Yeah. Well, Brian is in a kennel. What's an outpost? Why'd they set up an outpost for my show?
Right?
There is an amazing quote from Director X here. It says, it's an all-black show, but it's not about being black. We have social commentary built in, but it's rich versus poor. Then he goes on to say, we have gay characters, black characters, about all that stuff. And then he goes, it's essentially a superhero show. I'm like,
no.
Super villain show.
What? They just exist in this world like we exist in the normal world.
Well, they're not super, Gary. It's just villains. It's just thieves.
It's coming out. These videos are coming from either from the announcement or when it says it's coming out.
Hey guys, you're not allowed to talk about my stuff. Hey guys, stop! You're not allowed to talk about it. Sorry, guys.
Unless you praise it.
You can
Unless
always,
you
can always say that. Doesn't mean we're gonna stop because we're not.
Yeah, no.
Like other languages. Look, another guy. They're worldwide. These guys are going in. A black woman's going to be Robin Hood. It's going to be horrible. How could?
Well,
black kids be Robin Hood?
Oh, please,
Right?
nobody
These
take
people
that out of context. Robin Hood's a black girl. It's going to be awful. Right, there you go. Thank you. I'm going to have that for the next video.
Well, the funny thing about it is that when it was announced, it's like this was going to be everything we knew it was going to be, and it was. And he just proved us right. It's like, come on, man. You could have actually done something good, but no, you didn't. You had a bunch of stupid stereotypes, like black people constantly being shot by cops and all this other stuff that's going on. It's like you could have made a decent show, but you made it about current year.
Could you find that clip of Jay Longbone that she put up? That was
God, that was great. She's laughing. Oh God.
Thank you, Az.
And again, this is another interpretation.
Gary, I just have to say though, Jay Longbone is a horrendous racist.
Of course.
Oh, very, very racist. Yes.
She is.
She is the
most racist of racists.
The most supremacist of the white supremacists is Jay Longbone. Yes. Okay.
Got it already.
They're not racist.
Okay, we'll play this after this.
I've watched a lot of these guys. I subscribe to a few of these guys. No, they're adamant. They're not racist. Yeah, swear up and down, not racist. They say we're the ones that making everything about racist because
you are.
You changed the race.
That's what you did.
You literally changed the race of the person.
When we make a white Black Panther, you can return.
And watch him lose his fucking shit if somebody does. By the way,
Here we go.
Like,
And we'll go back to the other video in a second.
I'm just desperate. I wanted to say something about culturally appropriating because I'll be on him like a fucking white on rice. I swear
Here's
to God.
the shooting scene.
I legit laughed too. It's like,
It's so. Let her talk. Okay, rewind it. I want to hear Jay. I want to hear Jay Longbone's reaction.
Going with the church music.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
By the way,
yeah.
this guy's not even in episode 2.
He's not.
No, I think the actor maybe left after the pilot.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
And my favorite thing, they get the villain. They get the villain to be on the phone, and he goes, "By the way, I just wanted her arrested. Even the villain didn't want this to happen."
Gosh.
Hey, I love it how she was a flight risk, being paralyzed and handcuffed.
I've never laughed so hard in my life.
After she said
she's a flight risk.
She's animate about not leaving her building, her projects. She's a flight risk.
Yeah.
Those paralyzed people can crawl really fast, as.
Yeah, take me to Botswana, fucking quick.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This dude here put a black wizard with.
Why are you? Why?
They're not racist.
Don't look at my Rings of Power video thumbnails, please. There we go.
Hey, I made that.
Yes, you did.
It's Meatball.
Look how sad he looks.
I'm gonna say one is not amused.
Yes,
Everybody must eat. Then he scrolls down and points at like the most innocuous replies.
The posts.
Looks like miserable crap. It was. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, Robyn in the Hood is not exactly a new.
So what? So it's just racist.
It's
to
not.
Say,
So when you go to
I don't like the look of this. Is now racist. This is why this guy's a fucking clown. This is why I wouldn't let him on my channel. Because this prick here, this fucking privileged prick with a shit ton of money, he's directed God knows which celebrities and music videos all his fucking life, made a shit ton of coin. This guy then comes on, creates this fucking race-baiting dog shit because he is a fucking racist. And then, of course, uses projection on everybody else to accuse them of what he's actually fucking doing. You think I'm going to let him onto my channel so he can just, like, call me everything, try and get bites so he can get his media mates to do some lovely little articles, lovely little fucking quotes and whatnot.
Talk shit about the audience.
Stuff out of contest. Yeah, he just wants to be seen as a fucking martyr. Oh, I went on a fucking show. I call this white fucking boy racist and whatnot. Oh, just fuck out of here. You're so fucking obvious. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
The issue is with any of this stuff, especially with any business project, it's supposed to be the audience. Like, if you make something that's trash, it won't be profitable, so you can't do it again, and you learn from your mistakes. But in this, Kerry Appleyard was at the Banff Film Festival talking about how the show got funded. And its funding sources, she said, was the Canada Media Fund, Ontario Regional Tax Credits, Chorus, which gave them a license fee, and the distribution was done by Boat Rocker Rights, which is where she works. So this isn't funded by anyone's private money. No one will be held responsible. It's basically a load of charities or things that's like, we just think this needs to exist. And so because it's publicly funded, no one really cares if it's successful because no one's money is on the line individually.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
So it can easily get a second season based off of that.
God, I hope so.
Yes, if the same people support the same message.
Yeah.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
Look, listen, Director X, we want a season 2 so we can make fun of you more.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all we want, man. That's all we want.
Yeah, this
But
might make up for no She-Hulk season 2. It might make up for it.
I'm still hoping. They keep putting her on
Just be
posters.
careful, because the video I put out yesterday about you is nearly on as many views as episode 2 got in fucking Canada.
Wow.
Do you know the actual viewer numbers themselves?
Yes.
Oh, what are they?
Okay, I'll bring them back up quickly. I went through them in the review today. Okay, so the first episode, because the second episode fell off a cliff. First episode was 29th on the night. and had 247,000 people, with 82,000 of those being in the big advertising demo, which is 25 to 54 in Canada. Episode 2, Oopsie Doopsies, was 69th on the night, giggity, and fell to 139,000 views, nearly 50% down, with 45,000 being in the advertising demo of 25 to 54.
Dude, this episode of Friday Night Tights is going to get more views than that.
Yeah, my review of episode 1 almost equaled them.
Yeah.
All right, Director X.
But it's not him.
I'm
or his
YouTuber
show.
X.
It's everybody else. The whole of fucking Canada. The whole of the fucking world. It's all a conspiracy. Skinner from The Simpsons. There is it me? Is it my? No, it must be everyone else. No, it's everyone else.
Robin Hood, a show brought to you from the country whose parliament gave a literal Nazi a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well done. Publicly funded.
Hey, at least Justin Trudeau wasn't in cosplay.
Were those grants like tax money or donations, Disparu?
Some was tax money. I think I need to get back up. Some was tax money.
Actually, girl, that's your
Ontario
money.
regional tax credits.
Wait.
specifically.
A Robin Hood show. A Robin Hood show was funded by tax money.
Oh,
it was funded by X-Ray Girl.
Yeah, we're
Brought to you by, I'm sorry, guys.
Like, I'm not sure what the Canada Media Fund is,
Paid
but
for fucking Robin Hood. What's wrong with you, woman?
I don't have a choice where my taxes go.
Yeah.
You have a choice who you vote for.
Yes.
I didn't vote for him last time.
Okay.
yeah, loads of it was tax money because you've got the Ontario Regional Tax Credits, which is like a break, not taxes themselves. But the Canada Media Fund is a public-private partnership.
The irony. Holy shit.
It funds roughly $366 million annually, so that is a lot of state-funded media.
Wow.
Wow.
I take
This got
issue
at
with
least
him
$10
saying,
Isn't it ironic?
I take issue with nobody, for a guy making a Robin Hood show who thinks British people don't give a fuck about Robin Hood, or I don't give a. Okay, I grew up on Robin Hood. It's the first movie I saw in the theater was the Disney Robin Hood.
Yeah.
They replayed the 30s Robin Hood on fucking TV like all the fucking time.
They did.
Love that fucking movie.
Did you ever watch the
Green
BBC?
Arrow?
Yes. I've watched.
You watched the BBC Robin Hood?
Every fucking
Yeah.
version.
I
of
love
Robin
that
Hood
fucking
I've pretty
show.
much seen.
I love that
Robin
show.
of Sherwood was a series on ITV, huge popular series in the 90s and ITV. But you know what I hate the most, Gary? I hate that Director X is appropriating my culture.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Cultural appropriation, right there. Oh wait, no,
Definitely
white
make a
people
video
don't
about
have
that.
culture. That's what we.
That's
right.
what they say.
To fight
When it comes-
racism, we're gonna say white people don't have culture. Just
When it comes to the English, like, we've always valued sort of tradition and heritage. Like, the guards of our parliament still walk around with swords on their hips just because that's what they've always done.
Yep.
We do this for all of our kind of things. That's why we've got all the old buildings there. Yes, as generations go on, they tend to value it less, but it's still built into us in this country. And so it proves that he has no idea what he's talking about. But he's supposed to value it himself. That's what he said.
Errol Flynn is still the best Robin Hood. Still. To this very day. Watch it if you haven't. It's
Classic.
a great movie. Great movie. That guy partied and died because he partied so hard.
Good
Died
lad.
early. Good lad.
Speaking of dying, I gotta go.
Are you dying?
To a party?
To a party?
No,
You died.
he got that wound while working out and caught AIDS. So yes, he's dying.
Yeah, look.
Oh, don't
Staph-
blame
that's
the-
staph
the
infection.
the
You gotta watch
AIDS
out for
came-
that.
The AIDS came from the gay sex. Okay, let's just be real. Don't blame it on the wound.
Look, he sucked me off. I didn't touch.
That's a
Never mind.
Tijuana blowjob.
Oh my god.
My
You don't know
Robin
what
Hood
a
review.
Tijuana blowjob, by the way, is like. You're not gay if you're getting the blowjob.
Oh wow.
I don't know how that logic works. I don't believe in that logic. That's just
That sounds like
it's
prison
called.
logic right there.
Yeah.
It's a bit.
That sounds like Director X logic. My Robin Hood review for episode 2 is live on the channel. I've recorded a Loki review already with somebody who you'll find out tomorrow.
I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna say. You get mad if I say right now?
No, you do it if you want.
No, I'm not gonna do it. Go ahead.
Okay. But I gotta edit it, but that's gonna go up tomorrow. So my Loki episode 1 review, season 2 episode 1 review will be out tomorrow. Sunday afternoon tea with Az. And next
for
week.
fuck's sake, when are you going to the grocery store? You want to tell us about your bathroom trips too? Motherfucker.
The Brady
Before
Bunch.
I was rudely interrupted. And then Tuesday, we're back on my channel for the first time in a month with The Real BBC. Is that okay? I'm done now,
Anything
Gary.
else?
By the
Right
way,
before that, Az will be
I'm
taking
going
shit.
to buy some broccoli, some ribeye, a little bit of milk,
vegetables.
maybe, and that'll be it.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't know
Don't put milk on stuff.
Bye.
Hey, no,
Ew.
I'm going to. I'm just going to buy eggs to throw out of my building at the Rosses.
Okay.
Goodbye, boo.
Bye.
Was that British stuff you just said? I don't know what you just said.
He said
I don't
Ross is
understand
a
what
police.
happened.
Roses?
Yeah.
What is this?
Rozzers.
What is that?
Police.
That. Ah. Okay.
Oh.
The fuzz.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Popo.
right.
Oh, I thought you just
Bravo.
called them the pigs.
That's another one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names.
Yeah. Fun
Bobby.
till the pigs come round. That's a good Subhuman song. It is. Where was I? Soups. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $49.99. I just realized in episode 5 of Ahsoka's hours-long dream with Anakin while she was in the water is literally a wet dream. She had her master swinging his saber at her. The Obi-Wan meme is officially canon. Hail FNT. Hail to you.
Hell.
I just love when she wakes up underwater and doesn't even try and swim to the surface.
No.
She's
No,
like,
she's
"Oh,
just
I'm
like,
fine."
I'll let you do it.
Here?
In every show and every movie, if somebody's in the water and they've almost drowned, they always spit out water, except for Ahsoka. She's like, fine, no problem.
Develop gills.
I guess.
She was holding her breath the entire time.
The Real Smile Bit has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. 50. I'm going to scroll down. Oh. Whoa. Hang on. I can't scroll down.
What?
What have you done?
I have not done anything. I think, maybe here. Scroll it down and you read it, X-Ray Girl, till there.
There you go.
Oh.
You got to click on the window. That's what you.
My mouse is dead.
it was not clicked on the
You
window.
gotta click on.
No, my mouse is dead. Did you move my mouse, Garrett?
I just did, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let it go. Don't touch it. Yeah, my mouse is
They're talking about a mouse, just so we're clear.
Stop fucking moving it.
Don't touch it. Just move it a little
X-Ray
bit.
Girl, read the next one. X-Ray Girl, read the next one because I can't.
That one, Ginger Draven, for $49.99, says, I've been rewatching Spawn, and it's perfect for this time of year. I miss and love the hand-drawn animation.
Oh.
Crazy to think I discovered
good.
FNT just over a year ago because you had Disparu on. Whoa! Thanks for
Nice.
being authentic AF, and hail the fellowship.
Hail. Thank you.
Hey.
Spawn is a great cartoon.
Animated Spawn is available still on Max. I believe you can get it, the Physical Media, which I highly recommend. It's one of the best animated cartoons there is. It's one of the best versions of Spawn there is in a lot
Better
of
than
ways.
the comic book.
In a lot of ways, it's better than the comic book. Okay. Spawn is a good idea. There's some fun ideas. The first 20 are okay. And then it's not okay. Greg Capullo's art is masterful though. Absolute genius art.
That's one of my favorite comic book artists right there.
And dude,
Capullo's
like
fucking
McFarlane,
so
remember
good.
the Todd toys? Remember before it was McFarlane toys? It was the Todd toys. I've got them surrounding my door right there. Magnificent action figures. Just so good. I remember the 90s were fun. Scroll down, please. Yeah, I don't know why my thing just stopped.
Is it corded or is it cordless?
It's cordless, and I also have it on
battery?
a switcher because I have two computers on. So
Yeah, your batteries might have died.
Should I check if it's plugged in or not? It doesn't matter. Horror Amarada. For $50. No, Horror Amarada for $50 on the Streamlabs side. Thanks, lady. What's up? Merry Halloween season. Oh, it's the most wonderful time of year. From here till the end of the year, I'm all about the Halloween. Love Thanksgiving. Love Christmas. I love this time of year. With the ghosts and ghoulies circling in anticipation, I'd like to extend an invitation to all of you to visit my 12-hour Halloween stream. That's on my anniversary, though, lady. I might be able to come in for a few minutes. 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Mountain Time. Already emailed Gary. I'll be in touch with the rest soon. I'll pop in for a few minutes.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
I'll pop in.
Good luck with the 12 hours.
Good.
That's a long
Yeah.
time.
Well, she did a 24-hour one too, right? Or she was going to. That's insane. I would never do that.
It's horrific.
Scroll up a little bit.
You mean down?
Hot. Are you doing it?
I'm down.
Are you scrolling?
I'm scrolling right there.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Could you scroll up a little more?
You mean down?
To the left. A little harder.
Up. Okay. Because it's going up.
Yeah, but you're going down the list.
We need both, okay?
All right. Hot grapes.
When Princess Mary Sue disappears on her coronation day, only a small band of peasant misfits and adventurers can find her and bring her home before an evil sorcerer does. Hot Grapes Comics presents Blights and Beauties. Come read at Hot Grapes Comics. I thought you were talking about the first episode of Ahsoka. Hot Grapes Studios for $50. Clancy Brown was in Ahsoka for like the first episode. They just never had him in again.
Several years ago.
Ryan, not the racist one, the not racist one, for 100 euros. That's proper money. I mean, I prefer the Brexit money myself. Hail Brexit. I know a lot of fucking Brits whinging about Brexit over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of the lockdowns and stuff, it's given them an excuse to go, it's vague enough that you couldn't actually say which has been caused by what, and so they're trying to blame it all on
Brexit.
What they want.
Wow.
Yes.
Guess what? Brexit. My favorite part about Brexit was, and you could correct me on the country, Disparu. You weren't allowed. The Brits weren't allowed to fish in their own fucking waters. It was. Yeah.
There's licenses, and a lot of it went to France, and I think they're even saying, like, well, we're just going to veto it then if we can't fish in your waters.
Yeah.
One of the things about being, like, your own... You can make your own laws, and then you can't invade their territory. It's like, oh, well, we're going to veto it. Well, we just leave anyway. Like, to be sovereign means to make your own decisions. You'll just have somebody who's in a different country go, well, I think I should be able to do this for you. No. What are you going to do? Invade us? Let's see how that went down well in history before, didn't it?
No, it's Brexit good. I've observed the self-avowed Star Wars fanatics produce the worst Star Wars. Filoni, Johnson, Favreau. However, Kasdan, Kirshner, Marquand, and Gilroy, not fanatics, delivered average to great Star Wars. Does one's passion for Star Wars cloud their professional judgment? No, because I did think that's utter bullshit. I think you can respect the material enough and do well for One Piece. The guy who runs the show is a massive One Piece fan, but he also had Oda there. He had Oda there keeping him in check. So I think that can happen. I think it would be very different. Marquand was he was a hired gun. He was basically doing everything George told him to do. That was Return of the Jedi is basically directed by George Lucas. George Lucas wasn't around as much for Empire with Kirshner because he was going through this divorce and everything. Kirshner was also his teacher at USC. So, and made a masterpiece because George wasn't there, but Gary Kurtz was. That's so you need the balance. No, you need to have knowledge and passion about what you're doing. Even if you don't have the knowledge when you're hired, you gain it, which a lot of those professionals did by studying it, you know.
And Gary and Gary Kurtz not being involved with Return of the Jedi is the reason why it's the weakest out of the three.
Yeah, Harv Bennett came in, helped create Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. But when he came in, this is a famous story. Like, he watched every episode of the original series. He sat down and did what a professional does. Like, hey, these millions of dollars involved. There's a lot of fans who love this. Maybe I should take the time to go rent an apartment or something, rent a house. He's rich enough to rent a house and watch them all. It's not that hard, but you know what? It is hard for the lazy creator. And the lazy creator will never be good. I know it sounds crazy, but Hollywood's filled with lazy creators who will not take the time to read some comic books, watch some fucking Doctor Who, watch some Star Trek. You think Kurtzman sat down and watched the original series all the way through?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Hell no. Maybe
I
by
think
now.
it's not just laziness. I think it's also hubris when you think that you can do a better job than the guy who actually created it.
Well, the hubris, they're one and the same because you get so up your own ass in Hollywood that you feel like, and you start believing your own bullshit, because part of making it in Hollywood is being a bullshitter. And I think Jar Jar Abrams and Kurtzman are two of the best bullshitters that exist in Hollywood, because they were able to bullshit the room temperature IQ producers into giving them millions of dollars to take over two franchises they could give a fuck about. Jar Jar was never a big Star Wars fan. I think Jar Jar watched it in the theaters and liked it, but do you think Jar Jar was collecting the action figures? No, he wasn't.
Probably not.
Fuck no. Fuck no. So there's a lot of people who say they were big fans, that they were full of shit. Kevin Feige said he was this big Marvel fan. Then we found out later, well, yeah, I bought the pajamas and watched some cartoons. He wasn't going to the comic shop every Wednesday and buying comic books, or at the time, even just once a week. He's a bigger Star Wars fan. So most of them are full of shit.
And they don't run it like a business. Like, if you're giving someone a major property, you'd think you'd give them kind of tryouts. Okay, let's test you on this, see your results. But instead, they just keep renewing these seasons, even after everyone knows that it's awful. And they just keep throwing good money in after bad, as if there's so much money it's never going to run out. It's insane.
Well,
right?
I think a lot of it, too, is that they need filler for their streaming platform, and that's basically what we're getting.
Well,
yeah, but swap out people if it's trash. You know?
And they,
I don't think they care.
Hollywood can't afford it anymore. So we saw that article from the creator of Lower Decks, who's basically saying our show's going to get canceled unless you show you're watching it. It's going to get the same treatment as Prodigy. It's on 5 fucking seasons. And basically he told on himself and told on the entire streaming industry that the bubble has burst, and they were just throwing money at anything and making anything, whether people were watching it or not, and the party's over. And all that shit's about to get canceled. And all they did was destroy a beloved franchise or 2 or 3 or all of
It's
them.
fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
No.
Ike Ellis, 3 parts for $90. To the tune of the Friday Night Tights theme. I ain't saying it, buddy. I'm not going to lose the bet, so it doesn't matter. The time has come to expose them as queer. All man buns, they are gay. I apologize, but this song is my fate. All man buns, they are gay. Very despised gay voice. But so organized. Yes, man buns are gay. Man buns are gay. If this song does offend you tonight, rest assured you are certainly bi. Sensualized gay voice. I'm working on the gay voice. And honey, so am I. Yes, man buns are gay. Man buns are gay. The time has come. They will finally be cut. I haven't won the bet yet, but I will. This look is not even suited for smut. Criminalized. My style should be revised. Hair of a fairy. I'm going to sip some sherry. Yes, man buns are gay. Man buns are gay. And I'm supposed to repeat that 3 times. It says 3 times. Man buns are gay. And then it says dun, 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 gay.
Dun, 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 gay.
Dun, dun, gay. We could say so long, gay boys. Here, I got this sound. It'll be faster than Garrett.
So long, gay boys.
Thank you.
Slow.
I'm going to want to interrupt your nap. ARG, another name for $50. On the Streamlabs side, all the Tolkien appreciation in Ahsoka shows the true lack of creativity. Appropriation, sorry, there was no appreciation. All of the Tolkien appropriation in Ahsoka shows the true lack of creativity by Filoni and Disney. Is this Tolkienization? Also, the reason Thrawn is the Empire's great strategist is that he knows which way is up. And he gets there very slowly. Thomas Ragarin for $50. Nina got the Chris Benoit burn on Infinite Hope today. Very funny. She's good company with Dan Vask. Oh, she didn't get the hey, Chris Benoit. Yeah, they got Chrissy too.
Oh, no.
I told the story in a previous stream, but Melissa's like, okay, I'm not on the internet every day, as you know. Could you tell me about the Chris Benoit thing? And I'm all, yeah. So I broke it down to her, and she's like, how is that funny? I'm like, you just got to be on the internet a lot, just be kind of jaded a little bit. It's so dark, but it's funny. Sorry. You got to laugh or you cry. Trey Miller for $50. My Loki analogy is that if you, it is like you dated a girl. In the beginning, she seemed interesting and cool. By the end, she breaks your heart and wastes your time. Then a year later, she comes back and says, it will be different this time, I promise. That's freaking Star Wars, too. In Az's Ahsoka finale video, he asked for more titles. They will apply to most of your monitor of the mundane, dissector of the dismal, seer of shite, and chronicle of crap. Thanks for watching this stuff so we don't have to. Oh, that's Az's names. Yeah, I agree. Hail the Fellowship. Meanwhile, Dungeons & Dragons is getting rid of witches and druids because they're real religions. Just play Epic Fantasy RPG instead. Seriously, go woke, go broke. You're right. Thank you, Epic Fantasy, for $50 Australian dollars.
That's the interesting thing. It's like, if you focus on it, we're going to go down to whatever the smallest minority is, and everyone said it's the individual. It's like, no, turns out it's witches that can do magic that we're now offending.
We don't want to offend them.
Fucking stupid. Absolutely fucking stupid.
And they're going to take away demons too because they'll be coded as like orcs, like black people or something like that.
Well, they're already doing that. Not all demons are evil.
Well, I just stopped playing. I mean, you knew somebody said Critical Role is the worst thing that happened to Dungeons and Dragons. When all the douchey Hollywood hipsters started playing D&D, you knew it was fucking over. You knew it was done at that point. And that's been going on for years now. 10 years? 10 years when it started getting really big amongst the Silver Lake crowd. Yeah, you knew it was done then. Link Fan for $50. In Az's Ahsoka finale video, he asked for... we read this one, right? I read this one already. And I read that one already, too. Hey,
sorry, I was reading another one and editing its mistakes.
Britt Cormier for $49.99. One of my favorite TNG Prime Directive episodes is Symbiosis, where a plague was cured generations ago, but the planet that produced the vaccine swapped the cure with addictive drugs. Star Trek rules. Flav in 2 parts for 40 British pounds, proper money. Of all tyrannies, a tyranny sincerely exercised for the good of the victims may be the most oppressive. It would be better to live under robber barons and under omnipotent moral busybodies. The robber baron's cruelty may sometimes sleep. His cupidity may at some point be satiated, but those who torment us for our own good will torment us without end. For they do so with the approval of their own conscience. C.S. Lewis.
I'm too stupid to understand that.
Basically, the robber barons will sleep at the wheel once in a while, and so will other governments. But the nanny state will always be watching over you because they're doing it for your own good. We're here to help you. We're here to help.
The scariest words known to man.
Yep.
Hi, I'm from the government and here to help.
Here to help. The government basically turns into, what's it called again? What's the syndrome where the mom transitions their kids young? No, like keeps their kids sick.
Stockholm?
No, it's not Stockholm.
Munchausen?
Munchausen by proxy.
Munchausen by proxy. That's basically what our government is right now. Baron Munchausen, though, great movie. Great movie. Lord Baratheon for $49.99. So who pruned Loki? Was it Sylvie? But I've seen some people say it was the future. I've also seen a lot of people say the best thing about Loki is Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson chemistry. Yes.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
I
That's
guess.
that's where I got a joke. Like a joke actually landed because it's Owen Wilson and he's funny, but that's really it.
Dude, the bar is so low.
Yeah.
For fucking Disney Marvel now that they do something that doesn't outright offend you or make you want to throw something at the screen for 10 minutes. You're like, wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty
5
good.
stars.
Well done. It's still not good though. It's actually ass. I mean, nothing happened. Like it was a completely pointless episode. So you had one basically filler setup episode in a 6-episode season.
That's your premiere episode.
It just existed on the screen for a while, and that's why there's different ways to rate things. Some people will start at a 5 and that's average, but to me, I start at 0 and work up based on how much you entertain me, and I wasn't entertained by this at all.
No,
so to me, it's
like
just the same as
0.
anything else. Yeah, it's like, well, it was there, great.
I
spent most of my time
really.
confused about why it was meant to be funny.
Yes. And like I start phasing out and looking at my phone. I'm like, oh shit, I probably missed something important. I'm like, oh, I didn't. Okay.
He's like, oh, my skin's getting ripped off.
Beaten chicks on a Rumble rant for $100. Hail Rumble.
It was beaten cheeks.
I said beaten chicks.
Oh, beaten cheek.
just so y'all know.
Hang on.
I like that name.
I like that name too. Wait, I got a clip for that.
Which one are you going?
Wait, I've got an idea.
Do you guys believe after the failure of all the women/matriarchal shows at Disney doing, things will go back to normal without the diversity and wokeness pushing? I think we're already starting to see that. You're going to see a lot of action movies and horror movies. Well, horror movies have always been cheap and they make money. So that
Horror
will
movies.
always horror movies. Well, those are actually cheap and those make a lot of money. Those are the shorter films.
Yeah.
But the horror movies and action movies are relatively cheap and quick to make. And I think you'll just start seeing a lot more of that. I mean, Silent Night, that trailer got hyped like crazy. People see like because it looks good. It's fucking John Woo. So
yeah. Beekeeper also looks good.
Beekeeper looks good. I like Air. A little bothered by Statham's clearly dyed beard. I was like, ooh, don't do that.
Just age gracefully. Statham.
Dude, you're old. It's all right. It does, but his beard is dyed, and it looks like he wants to go on infomercials.
Oh.
But I like David Ayer's great director. Dave Filoni's dog. Oh shit! For $50. Dave took me out for a walk today. By walk, I mean he chased me around the house with his pants around his ankles. That qualifies as exercise, maybe. Anyway, Dave saw Robin Hood and said, I need to step up my game. P.S. You have spare antifreeze for me?
Oh, no.
Dark man.
Chocolate.
And the answer is yes.
Soundwave TM3 for $99.99. What's up, big dog? Az couldn't wait for you. I blame Az. Gary, got to say, from Image Comics right now, from Transformers is pretty freaking good for a first part of a multiverse comic. Have not read The Void Rivals, and G.I. Joe comes this month. Looks pretty dope. Thoughts? I have none.
Comics?
Yeah, I was never a huge G.I. Joe comic book fan. I just wasn't. I like the Transformer comics when they were by themselves, but this is like the 5th or 6th iteration of G.I. Joe and Transformers that I've seen. If we go back to, is it Devil's Due that put him out?
Devil's Due was really fucking good.
That was good shit. But that was a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, that was early 2000s.
I'm done. I'm done. And I heard they're good. Kirkman, I think he's good. He's no Mark Millar. I mean, he created a huge zombie franchise that made him a lot of fucking money. That went
and then
nowhere.
just stopped.
That went fucking nowhere. That just keeps spreading out. No, the comic? Yeah, the comic just stopped because the comic went
just
fucking
ended.
nowhere. So yeah.
Another thing that never had a plan and tricked you into thinking there was. Fuck that, man.
I think
I read that whole thing.
Like Invincible went somewhere, but like eensy bit overrated. I know that's probably a bad take, or people who think it's a bad take, but I've always felt that way about Kirkman. But you know what's fucking awesome? It's Big Game. Go buy that shit. Go to your local comic store, buy that shit. Quelndar has dropped $50 on the Streamlabs side and didn't say anything. With a name like Quelndar, you should be saying like, "Take me to your leader."
Yeah, is that Zorbu's brother?
It's Zorbu's brother, I think. Have you seen Zorbu lately? Oh, well, we usually don't see him. It's usually our ass hurts the next day. Yeah. Because he probed us. Sorry, it's Forbidden
Speak
Frontier.
for yourself.
Forbidden Frontier humor. Well, you're just
He
not
never
telling
probes
us.
you,
You're not
which is
saying
weird.
anything. Well, yeah, because he doesn't probe girls because Zorbu's gay.
He likes the boys.
Yeah.
The male gaze.
Dan's 1129 6 parts for 60 British pounds. Gary, fan since The Last Jedi, as since World of Warcraft.
I don't know the other one.
I don't know what the other one is. WOTLK or CATA. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Always here, 27, truthfully need kind words. Try to believe I am good person. Quit investment banking and became a tutor. Free tutor YouTube channel. Not a saint, but just saying why. Never gave in to the victim moaning until now. Tried and failed desperately for London meetup ticks. Oh, man. They could have emailed us. Was 1 kilometer away. What's a kilometer?
Like
under a mile.
Less than half
Less
a
than a
mile.
mile, yeah.
Just escaped 1 year of severe depression. Battle since 22 due to abuse. That sucks. I'm glad you escaped it. Defeated disease. You're an inspiration. Cheers. Recovering for 3 weeks. Nice. Just found out I have chronic kidney disease. Don't know what stage yet. Hopefully it's early and you'll be able to handle that. Hope I can beat the duo and have a good life still. You can. Honestly, unlike me, but just wanted to say, just wanted you to know I've always been here and wouldn't mind some kind words. Just started a business that seriously helps people. I don't know, sad. And then it says, forgive the moaning, please. No news and just hard at 27. Just as I escaped the started healing from my depression, truly just would be nice to know that you know I exist. I know, Dan's. I know. And wish me well. We all wish you well. Selfish. Super chat, sorry. Just dark. Hey, guys, just got out of work.
That's another
one.
super
Okay,
chat,
okay. Well, the fact that you got out of depression and you're still talking about it, that's good. And I would say just take care of yourself. I don't know how bad the kidney thing is, but if you keep, oh God, this is a lot to take in on a stream. Talking about it is good. Go talk to somebody in your life. You need to talk to somebody in your life. If you've gotten out of depression, you know to do that. Surround yourself with family and friends and people who love you and support you. Take care of yourself. You'll get through this. Things get better. I promise. I promise. I had crippling depression, and I'm here. I didn't have kidney problems. If I'd have kept fucking popping pills like I did, I would have. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that being sober is the best way. That's the best way. Don't go back. Roland and Ramirez for $75. Hey, guys, just got out of work. I know I'm not too late because I was listening to y'all while working. It's a little hard to work in construction while you laugh. I just want to say thank y'all. You're great. Oh, thank you, Rolando. Cheers.
Doing some real work out there.
Some manly work. And yeah, chat, send some love to Dan's 1129.
Yeah.
Show him
Yes.
some love.
Sorry.
Show him some
I
love.
didn't mean to laugh at that moment.
Zorbu.
Bad timing.
Oh, it's Zorbu.
No, it's because of Zorbu.
Zorbu.
Sorry.
Zorbu,
That's why I
shut
was laughing.
up.
I wasn't laughing for.
Wait. I have a problem with you, Zorbu. Keep sneaking in my room at night, sitting on my chest. I don't like it. Need to stop.
I mean, it's better there than the other.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's better than the alternative.
yeah, that's just the part you're awake. He's sitting other places. Just want to say. For the record, I wouldn't be able to probe Gary effectively after his stints in the slammer. It'd be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Used and abused.
It's like a wizard's sleeve.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh man.
Wow.
Baby. Ouch.
Visual on that.
All right.
Yep.
We're going to wrap it up there. I was going to say I got stuff to do, but I really don't.
You watch One Piece again?
No, I'm watching House of the Dragon. I've watched One Piece 5 times though, and I'll watch it again. I will effing watch it again.
And he will again.
I will.
And
I'm waiting.
again,
I'm
and
waiting for
again.
the soundtrack to come out on vinyl. I finally got the House of the Dragon soundtrack on vinyl, which is awesome. Yeah. I got Doctor Who, the classic series 20, Fifth Doctor in the mail today. Maybe I'll watch some of that because that's fucking dope. We got to start getting prepped for Doctor Who because the 60th anniversary is coming, and I just, it seems like not a lot of people give a fuck. If you look at
It's
just
strange that.
yeah, it's weird. The 2 Tenet trailers, they should destroy, and they're not doing as well as the 50th anniversary trailers did.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to bring people back.
Yep.
Like even me, I'm desperately trying to give this the benefit of all doubts that I can. And I don't have much faith. I'm just hoping they can give us a few good Tenet episodes, and then I'm expecting it to drop off a cliff. And so I'm just hoping that these even stand together, but I don't have much faith in that myself. It's just,
as we've seen before, when they bring back people we love, it only means darkness and horrors. So
well, yeah, this is
it's probably going to be terrible. It's probably going to destroy his character.
The next Doctor, they're trying to bring you back with something so they can bait and switch the next one. Is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do.
But what they should do is do a really amazing David Tennant story, because he's the one that people come to see in the first place, and then be like, if you love that, we can keep this going with this other guy. But I just don't think that attitude even exists in the studios anymore. I think it's all, what can I get out for it for myself? And so all they see is how they can use him for the next thing.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't have my hopes up. I'm going to watch them. I just thought of something. Dan's, if you're out there, Dan's 1129. We're going to be back in the UK next year. I expect to see you. We will give you a VIP. We'll get you in. Okay.
That's a good goal.
Big
Just
hug
make sure
for
to
Dan's.
email.
Yeah.
Email us.
can't get a
Mrs.
ticket.
Nerdrotic will touch base with you, and we'll make sure you get in. Meet up for Wisconsin stuff. I guess we'll announce it in the next few days. There's going to be a pre-announcement for members, and then we'll announce it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
You're going to be there.
Yeah.
Who else is going to be there? Nobody, right? It's just you and
What
me.
is it?
Just you and me and Mrs. Nerdrotic. It's in Wisconsin. It's in 16th.
16th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday.
Because we're going up to Melissa's brother lives up in Wisconsin. We're going there for Thanksgiving.
Ooh.
Gonna hang out where it's fucking cold and go to a Packers game. Go to the Chargers Packers game. And Aaron Rodgers, kind of like what he's saying. Called that guy Pfizer, Mr. Pfizer.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That whole relationship is just a PR stunt. It's like it's so calculated.
It's so the NFL is terrible. The NFL used to be so cool because for one, it was kind of like second fiddle to baseball, and it was still. It just wasn't uber corporate. You know, it still had those individual owners. That some of them were fucking crazy. Some of the players were crazy. It was just still smaller and like when things get super corporate, they suck. Look at all of our favorite franchises now. Look at everything now. And yeah, NFL's trash now.
Look at the government.
Rest in peace, Dick Butkus. Rest in peace. One of the greatest fucking linebackers who's ever lived. I used to be a huge football fan. And you know what? It's easy to stop watching because it's turned into such shit. It's such shit. Now, the game's not even that good anymore. Fuck, man. They're a bunch of pussies playing right now.
The interesting thing is with stuff like media or gaming or anything else, if you've done something for a long time, the moment you leave that and start finding, oh, there's actually a load of other interesting stuff I could be doing, you tend to find out, actually, I didn't like this either. I was just kind of going through the motions with that. I can find other things. And it's a really dangerous thing that they're doing, that you could actually collapse multiple things by just... Because if you think about videos, the way you get it, if you start with a topic, but you want to do a longer video, it's like, look, I'm going to do the best thing I can about this start, and then I'm going to surprise you by giving you a load of extra good stuff as well. And they just don't do that anymore. It's like, we've been successful all this time, and they're just getting lazy with it.
Yeah. A great example is the NFL. So what was great about it, I'm going to use the word, was the sense of community and civic pride. You grew up in San Diego, you root for the Chargers. You grew up in Oakland, you root for the Raiders. You're in San Francisco for the Niners. And Washington, the Redskins. You know, those were your teams. You grew up, you went with your dad, you tailgated, and it was about the family experience. Now you can't go. Now you can't, like, call your team by its fucking name. Most of the teams aren't in the cities anymore. I don't think Miami plays in Miami. Fucking San Francisco plays 50 miles away. The Chargers left. So many other teams just fucking left, or they live outside. And it's just corporate ball with the names like the Commanders. That's fucking gay. That is the
Did you hear how
name.
they're trying to bring back the Redskins? There's actually
I heard that
a group of Native Americans that are suing
Commanders
to bring
is like,
it back.
Commanders is like a team that would be in a fucking Hollywood movie. That would be in a movie. It would be a fake fucking team.
Sounds like the Comrades.
Yeah, it would be more appropriate for Washington right now, to be honest with you, with that red. But it's fucking terrible. It's terrible, but people still go. Bread and circuses, that's what some people say. Football used to be really fun. There used to be rivalries. There'd be fights in the stands, Chargers and Raider fans fucking stabbing each other. Those are the days. But now it's just rich people. It's the Charger game with the Raiders Charger game last week. It was all Raider fans because it was in L.A. because that's where the Raider fans are. They're in L.A. Ain't no fucking Charger fans in L.A. Fuck Dean Spanos. I made a video about it on Sports Wars. My one and only video talking about how I used to be a Charger fan and that motherfucker ripped him out of San Diego, that piece of shit. But, you know, that guy's such a great billionaire that he turned himself into a multimillionaire.
Great job.
Oh, well done,
Wow.
you fucking retard. You can have him, L.A. All right, we're going to get out of here.
Only upwards.
Comics.
What
was that? You can say something. Yes.
I was wondering if you were just like gonna leave because I've got something to shill.
Yeah, dude,
Chill away, man.
chill. Then now's your chance.
Well, I say I've got something to shill. Every week I do Geeks and Gamers Tabletop with comics with X-Ray Girl, and it's like 9.7k subs. If you like D&D or comics, you know the other systems that they do. Pathfinder. Yeah, so it's not just D&D. If you don't like D&D, they are doing other systems, and Arudai is a great DM doing other shows, other kinds of things. And tomorrow, though it's the second half, the finale of a special Alien stream, you've got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Ricada's there, I'm on it, and apparently we're all going to die, so it should be great content. So
it's aliens, you should die.
Exactly. So if you're interested in any kind of tabletop stuff, Geeks and Gamers Tabletop, let's see if we get it to 10k. And he has promised, and he actually apparently promised in the chat on Geeks and Gamers the Tuesday night, the main event, if we get to 10k, he will make a video of him eating corn the long way.
Okay.
So,
Fed Ruda.
I think that's reason to subscribe, personally.
Oh,
I love that.
Beardo can show him how. Like he's there.
Well.
You heard me, Beardo. 50. I can eat 50 corn the long way.
50 corn.
All in a
He's
row.
just so competitive. It's like if he sees anyone do anything, I can beat that.
That's funny. Is I was on Alex Stein, and I called Jeremy.
I saw. That was fun.
I called Jeremy afterwards, and then Jeremy calls me today and goes, "Did you call me gay on Alex Stein?" And then forget to tell me in our phone conversation. I'm all, "Oh yeah, I did."
I just dropped it and walked away.
Oh,
It happens so often.
Yeah, it just comes so naturally. Thanks for watching, Chrissy. It was fun. I had no idea what we were going to talk about until we jumped on. But
It's Alex Stein's show.
It's Alex Stein's
Yeah.
show. We love Alex Stein. If you want to check it out,
And
it's
you
up on
were
his
you
channel.
on the same episode that he had that Lindsay Hill chick?
No,
I don't
that
think so.
I
Okay.
was following Laura Trump, which was not on my bingo
Oh,
card for this year.
fun.
So I was like, wow, that's a weird duo right there. Me and Laura Trump, both fitness experts. Not really. No, he had that horrible freaking slut who falsely accused the Dodger.
Trevor Bauer.
Yeah,
Yep.
a Cy Young winning pitcher, by the way.
Yeah.
A good
He's
pitcher.
at the peak. He's at the peak of his career.
At the peak of his
We fucked
career.
him.
That she should be in jail the rest of her life. And
won't
she
get
looked
any
terrible. Sarah Gonzalez, right, had her on too, and fucking just tore
ripped
her,
her
and
Wrecked her,
nasty.
yeah.
Did
Oh, it was fucking
she?
great.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's really good. You should go
Yeah.
watch it.
I want to watch. Okay.
Called her out on everything.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like,
Yeah. Well, that's fair. That's a fair question.
well,
Bunch
there
of
are,
bullshit.
listen,
They're all taken out of context.
there's piece of shit rapists like Harvey Weinstein, and there's piece of shit lying cunts like that chick. So they both exist.
Yeah, she raped his life.
Yep.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Way of putting it.
Well, that's fun. It's fun to talk about.
So
Yeah.
comics, what are you going on?
Comics.
Kind of hard to follow
What
it
an
up,
intro.
man. Yeah,
Speaking of raped life,
Comics.
A rude eye. Just
That's
like
the kind of intro Rudai would do. Not like
you would do that.
Yep. Yeah, I hate saying what I'm gonna do because sometimes I don't end up doing it. So what I want to do, I'm planning on doing, is finally, since the final episode of the Continentals dropped today, I want to watch it and review the entire series. First episode, great. Second episode, not so much. Looking forward to the third to see if it's
Which
actually
the
worth
Continental?
yeah.
I heard there's girl bosses in it.
Episode 2 gets very girl boss heavy, but episode 1 was great. And as a standalone, it's 90 minutes long. It could basically be its own movie. It has a great ending. Second one, I didn't like it. It does have some good moments in it though, and it's definitely way better than Ahsoka, but still not a great episode. So I'm hearing some mixed things about 3, so we'll see. And then I'll give my
I watched
my final review.
The first half hour of the Continental, and I liked that first episode. The trailer looked like shit, though, and it looks like it's filled with a bunch of girl bosses and modernity. It does.
Yeah. And it's interesting because if you compare it to the movie, especially the last movie, yeah, there's a woman who fights, but she does a very specific fighting style. She's sliding around on the floor, so they can't really reach her. She's going for ankles and stuff, so it kind of works. And she's in it for a few minutes and leaves. And everyone else in the thing is just big, massive dudes beating crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And then you watch this, and it's like the trailer was. There's probably more women in that trailer than out of all the other 4 movies combined.
Yeah. I never watched the trailer, so I find that kind of interesting.
Watch the trailer. It's dog shit. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. It does get very girl boss heavy in episode 2. And there was one fight scene. It was competent, but it's a chick going up against 5 dudes, and it's like, come on. Even if everyone's trained, she's still going to lose.
Yeah. And we've seen how those turn out on those short films. Those short independent films.
And it actually hits
Low
the same
budget.
problem. Hits the same problem as the Harfoots as well. You have to ask what happened to all these female assassins because they're not around later on.
Did you they're bringing the Stores into Rings of Power, and they're calling them the Stores. They're hobbits. They're a breed of fucking hobbit.
Fuck.
So they can't use the word. You know what? They can't use the word hobbit because they couldn't afford it. So they could have licensed it from Warner Brothers, but they couldn't afford it. But they can use the Stores and the Harfoots. That's why they're calling them.
Does that you can't say half Hobbit apply to like the marketing? So if they're on a panel, can they not say Hobbit, or how does that work?
They're probably instructed not to say it. If they make a mistake, it's probably fine. But I'm guessing they're I can find out definitively for you, Disparu.
Well, I just think it's interesting because in the marketing, they did. I think they did, like you say, slipped up a couple of times, but generally really tried to avoid it.
Yeah. Because they most everything you're seeing that was in the Lord of the Rings movies from Warner Brothers was licensed from Warner Brothers, and their competition, and now they're making their own, they're going to be making their own Lord of the Rings, so it's gonna be a big problem, and I'm here for it. I hope they destroy each other and then nothing gets made. That's my hope. Except for the anime, the War of the Rohirrim might be good. Yeah.
And one of the rules of negotiation is the more they know you need something, the higher the prices. Yeah. And so they are going to be playing hardball the moment you say, and can we have Gandalf? Well, you could, but there's going to be a lot of zeros.
Yeah. So, yeah, just don't call him Gandalf. Call him the Stranger. I wouldn't be surprised if that wizard doesn't get an effing name for like the entire series.
He's never gets a
no. He's not.
So lame. Oh my God. It's been a year. I don't miss Rings of Power. I miss House of the Dragon. I actually miss that show. Be cool to have it on right now. But
I'm dreading when Rings of Power comes back.
But they have to release at the same time again.
Yes, they do.
Because that was fun.
Yeah. What do you have coming up, Quarter Black Garrett?
I have Sunday Fun Day on Sunday with Az and X-Ray Girl. We're back. Yeah. We're playing spooky games. We played Phasmophobia last week. I died a lot.
We're playing Labyrinthine.
Labyrinthine is the new game. And we're going to kind of switch it up every week or so during the spooky month, playing spooky games, scary games. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And go watch the latest Nerdrotic video because I edited that. Go watch it,
Very good. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a video.
Yeah, go watch it.
Go watch it.
That's it. Oh, in Normal World, I got a show with Dave Landau.
Oh yeah, you got that.
YouTube and Blaze. That's other stuff, if you want to hang out. That's what we do on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
At what time?
That is at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
There you go. Nice. Got Dan's 1129 for 20 British pounds says 3 months U.S. business-ish trip, my startup, and fun in spring next year. Any dates in which states roughly known for U.S. meetups? Also, not a moaner usually, never again. As a tutor and 27 report on 18 plus in UK, we may be pathetic, but we all hate woke. Good for you. And next year, Comic-Con. I'll be at Comic-Con.
San Diego.
No, Vegas. So Vegas is for sure.
Vegas Comic-Con.
Vegas meetup. Vegas meetup in April.
Okay.
San Diego Comic-Con I'll probably be at. That's the only two I know for sure.
And probably all the ones like most likely Anime Matsuri and the ones in Texas. Most likely.
Well, no, but the one I can say for sure is Vegas, and that's in April. That will be during CinemaCon.
Ah.
Yes. What do you got coming up? X-Ray Girl.
I got a lot coming up. So I'm going to be on Simpcast on Sunday on Chrissy's channel. Forbidden Frontiers. We're going to be talking about to Andreas. I don't know how to say his last name.
Andreas.
Oh, Andreas.
Okay.
Yes.
He sounds like a commie. I'm just kidding.
And for Dadcast on Tuesdays, we're having Kelly Jones back. So if you guys enjoyed that episode on Poor Choices, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, you can find him over there. And yeah. Those are the things I want to promote this time.
Cool.
And I'm excited.
Chrissy Mayer, what shows do you have coming up?
Oh, it's so great. It's so fun, guys. I'm actually doing a scary movie watch along every Friday, late night after this 10 p.m. So there'll be spooky Halloween movies for this month. So
Sweet.
tonight is Children of the Corn, which I've never seen.
You've never seen
the original.
Never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never seen it. And Sunday, yes, X-Ray Girl will be on Simpcast along with Tugs, Zia Anderson, and Camelot. And
that's
then
awesome.
Oh, it's an all-star cast. And I am 12,000 subs away from 100K on YouTube. So if you could pretty please subscribe to me and then mute me. You know what I mean? Like just you don't even have to watch anything. I just want to get there.
Watching helps.
Fine.
Yeah.
So just put it on and then go do something else.
Yeah.
That would be good. And Wet Spot on Monday on Compound Media. I'll have Chadwick Moore on and a couple of another comic and another adult film star. And yeah, that's it.
How's Kumia doing?
He is doing much better. I sent him an edible arrangement today.
Wait, what's wrong with him?
He had a little bit of a heart clog moment.
Oh,
and
okay.
But he's doing better.
That's good.
Yeah.
Give him my best. He's my hero. Tell him don't
I will.
die and being pussy.
He's recovering. He's doing really
Okay,
well.
good.
Good to hear it.
I'm not sure when he's going to be back in
Yeah,
studio.
he's got to outlive Opie. He can that cannot.
Yeah.
Opie's a bitch. Anthony Cumia is a fucking legend. Thanks for being on, Chrissy. You're awesome.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of course.
And also, Shad, I'm sorry. I did a really great interview with Shad a few days ago on my channel, and we were on for like almost a little over 2 hours just talking about his sort of origin story and being a dad and marriage and kind of like why the red pill community is so detrimental to just man-woman relations. So check that out.
The manosphere, they're really bad for that. Really, really bad. Yeah, listen to Shad. Listen to Kelly Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Those are people you can listen to. Those are good dads. Listen, Corey Black Garrett's a good dad. Listen to that guy.
I don't ever talk about him. That's what you're supposed to do.
What? Yeah, I just let my kids sit and watch video games all day. I barely talk to them. Works out great.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It all works out.
He was raised by
They
Grand
run
Theft
around
Auto.
naked. It really doesn't matter.
And
Send them out to
Fortnite.
college, and they all came back communists for some reason.
I don't know what happened. It wasn't my fault.
Shad is Chad, and he will be back next week. Disparu, what
Yes.
do you have coming up, my friend?
Well, considering how well the first video did, it looks like I'm going to be reviewing the second one. It'll be interesting to see if I can actually beat the official viewing figures of that. The first one actually might. That'd be interesting. But actually, yeah, reviewing Robyn
That's what
Hood.
you should title it. Make this video get more viewers than Robyn Hood's episode 2.
Oh my God, that'd be perfect.
Well, I actually because the people are like, well, why'd you watch this? I had a genuinely great time reviewing that show. It is literally one of the best comedies I've ever seen. I laughed harder than literally since Willow, so it should be a good film, a good video to make. Apart from that, I've got to catch up with Wheel of Time because I'm so far behind between London and getting sick afterwards. It was like, ugh. So that's got to be weaved into other videos. And yeah, we'll see. I need to get back to news topics. I'm really hoping that actually SAG-AFTRA make a deal specifically so all the actors can go back to giving interviews because they make
that's just gold.
Yes,
they do. Well, I think we're 2 weeks away. That's what I heard. We're 2 weeks away.
It's interesting, especially with the WGA strike. It was interesting because they could summarize the entire deal in like a page and a half. So you spent how many hours talking about this? There actually wasn't that many things to talk about.
No.
So I'm wondering if the SAG-AFTRA will appear the same.
It's weird. It's almost like they have a deal and they just want to wait a couple of weeks for whatever fucking reason. It's barely in the news. But that's why I haven't done a strike, because the strike videos, god damn, people love those. I like making them too. I do like making them, but I can't call this strike over until the Film Actors Guild comes back. So
it is. Wait. It could be a negotiation thing. You don't want to appear as if you've given in too early because in 3 years or whatever it is, the contract will be renewed. And they'll be like, well, they gave in so early last time. We definitely need to get more this time. And so they kind of want to make them feel as if we really stretched it out to the best deal we possibly could. That's the whole thing with this. It's like mind games and manipulation. That's not how I like to do any of this kind of stuff.
The thing they did to the writers, which you mentioned it, I loved, is they didn't give them time served, right? So, you know what time served is? If you're waiting to go to court before your sentence and you were in jail for fucking 5 months, they apply it. So they didn't, to some writers, not everybody, but to some writers, the 5 months they were on strike, their contract isn't 3 years. Their contract's less than 2 years now.
I think that just makes sense, though. I mean, it's the running clock. I signed you for 3 years. It's been 3 years.
Yep.
There you go.
It's so funny.
Rules as written.
But we won. We won. I get to Uber now.
Oh,
yay!
Hey,
my
it's
favorite
honest
was
living.
I'm a barista.
That guy who wrote like an entirely just bait thing, desperately trying to hit every kind of keyword. And he even posted the email which said, "Yeah, the reason why you striked but you can't vote on this thing is because you haven't earned 38,000 in 6 years." And I'm like, you included that in your own Twitter. You think that is a great argument, and everyone else is like, "Well, that's like a week of a work every year, and you would have hit the minimum."
That's why the WGA lets a lot of people in, not everybody, but a lot of people in for strikes. It actually makes sense. Well, they don't get a vote, but it looks like there's a lot of people on the street striking. Look at background actors striking for SAG, for the SAGs. You're not going to get anything. You're not going to get. You're still not going. You know what? AI is still going to replace your ass within a few
Probably
years.
getting paid to strike.
Yeah.
That's what surprised me about Drew Barrymore, right? From all the things like that, she had to back down. There was like 12 people standing outside her studio. And like she was intimidated enough by that to actually back down. And then the writers came out and said, "Well, we're not going back. She said she was going to start the show without you. I don't think she needs you back."
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have anything to bargain with.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think writers for the Drew Barrymore show might be replaceable.
Maybe.
Are you sure? I don't know if they could write to her voice, you know?
Maybe. Well, maybe she needs to kneel before more trans men.
God, that's so cringe. You don't need to write for that.
All right. What do I have coming up? I have a video that came out today.
Yeah.
One Piece review coming out next few days, within 3 or 4 days. Loki review, be very short. Will be out in the next few days. You're getting 3 videos in the next few days. Don't get used to it. But,
Getting spoiled. Getting
Like a
spoiled.
month's worth of content.
that is more than a half a month's worth of content for me. Now you're gonna get a little more because we were on vacation, kind of sliding.
Yeah, and a bunch of stuff's coming out.
And
it's all horrible.
coming out, and it's all terrible. We're building up to the Marvels.
Yes.
Oh,
We
yes,
need-
we are.
That is going to be epic.
We do need the Film Actors Guild to get back pretty soon for this one. I think Marvel is kind of like
next month.
I think
We need the red carpet.
maybe
Okay, I need those
Disney-
clips.
Disparu, Disney's the holdout. They're not going to sign anything until after Marvels comes out, so none of the videos will go on the red carpet.
And then they're like,
I need the red carpet footage, okay? I
Do you
need
think
it.
we could stretch this out past Snow White's release? Like, how far can we negotiate?
So,
But you hear that they're getting sued? Disney?
yeah,
Weinstein thing.
a Weinstein thing. Oh,
Wow.
because they were working with Miramax, or weren't they owning Miramax for a while? I can't remember. But big shocker.
Lady Greymaster sent it in.
Every motherfucker in Hollywood
Ooh.
knew exactly what Harvey Weinstein was
Wow.
doing and didn't give
There
a
you go.
shit. Julio Ormond claims Disney and CAA enabled Harvey Weinstein's sexual abuse in news lawsuit Harvey Weinstein. Disney also hired former Harvey Weinstein assistant Leslie Headland to head a fucking Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Too ugly to be assaulted, yes.
When I was a young queer girl.
When I was a young queer girl.
When I was a young queer girl.
When I was
All
a
right.
young queer
Girl.
Mahler, happy
Still
birthday.
better than Robin Hood
Happy
song.
birthday, Mahler.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mauler.
Happy birthday.
Birthday, Mahler. Mahler, it's your birthday.
Everybody at Mahler on Twitter, wish him happy birthday. Everybody, every single person, make sure you do that. Happy 1 trillion birthday. I'm not
We
going
gotta
to finish.
respect our elders.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
We do. If you want to send him tentacle porn too, that's fine. I think he's totally all right. He'll be okay with it.
It's relatable.
Probably already seen it.
All right.
Starring him.
See you next week with
Carl Benjamin.
Carl.
Fuck yes.
Effing Benjamin.
Sargon.
Sargon of Akkad.
Yeah.
Legend. All right. Disparu, thanks again for coming on. You're always welcome. We love you.
Oh, anytime. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Ciao, Bella.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.